site and setting. Today we have command website and setting goals instead of command. Originally, the original plan was the second half of class was going to be DocuSign, but remember, we figured out we can all do it in one session. So next month I'll do it differently. Our game plan today, Jeff and I were talking about having some fun, and we are going to, Jeff's working on printing a listing contract and a purchase contract, and we're going to put you in teams, and you guys are going to list the property and make an offer and negotiate it back and forth.
Sure.
That's what we're going to do today. So you're going to help each other as a team to do that.
At 10:45, I have to leave.
You may have missed that.
I know, I did.
You'll
I
miss that
thought it
part.
was gonna be, I looked up on.
All right, so today, let's get right into it. We're gonna, well, before I even, so we're on the last part of command, by the way. So by now, we've kind of really gone through it all. If you missed the class, you can always go back. The only class I don't have recorded is day one, which was the contacts and task. We'll record it next month, but everything else you can find and rewatch. Today, we're gonna focus down here on the consumer tab, and then we're gonna go right into this one called reports. Before I get into all that, any questions up to this point with command or anything that you want me to revisit if possible today? Because I may have a little extra time before we have to take our first break. Anything you guys would want me to see me touch on one more time?
Smart plans are.
Smart plans, okay. Yeah, I would love to talk about that.
Have to happen.
No, actually, I would like to talk about that because guess what? That was going to be our conversation today, you and I at 12. So we'll hit a lot of it here, but then we'll still chat one-on-one.
Okay.
What else is there?
Hey, Jordas. This
Yeah,
is
go ahead, Joe.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. My question is, I was listening to last Tuesday's class where you budgeted $100 for the what was it? Was it opportunities? I can't remember.
Is it for ads, you mean?
Yeah, for ads. I guess my question is, where if you don't have business coming in, how much in debt can you get into realistically, and how much should you not get into debt realistically? In marketing, I get calls all the time about my Google ad or getting leads, and I had spent a lot of money on Market Leader and got no results from it.
Yeah. I'll touch on that, Joe. Thank you. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's do one more, just in case I have time. One more. Oh, one other thing you get. Thank you, Joe. That was a really good one, actually.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else? One more thing?
I
That's
have
time.
my hand.
Oh, yes, you do. Sorry. We're not in school. Just talk. What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for your permission.
Go.
Okay, so
Dale,
after
chica.
committee, I have a doubt about, like, when we are setting up our commission,
Mhm.
is the commission part, is it it's an opportunities, right?
Mhm. Yep.
I have a doubt, is it what you agree with your seller, or is it your actual portion? What is it that we place there?
All right, we'll look at that as well. Sweet. All right, let's rock and roll. I'm gonna try to hit everything I intended to hit and that. Sound good? You guys ready to run? Yes, okay. Next time, sorry, I was dozed out looking down. Sorry. All right, and congratulations on your listing, by the way.
Yay!
All right.
It's gonna be a lot special.
Not special. All right, let's get right into it. So let's take a look at our consumer website. So this is what your customers are seeing when they go to your website. So that tab is down here at the bottom. So we're going to click on consumer. And we'll just kind of go left to right and work through all the options that are there. There we go again with this mouse thing. So first thing first, your website domain name is right there, smack in the middle. So when you click on that, that's always going to open up a new window, and it's going to take you to your website you put out to the general public, or what they see through your app as well. For example, if you look at mine right now, for example, on the address bar, it says jordas-reyes.kw.com. That's just what I got when I joined. You guys have probably something similar or a combination of that. Now, On my business cards and marketing, I don't put that. If you guys notice the actual top of my, the web tab here, it says the Pro Scout Group. So when the domain I bought, and you don't have to do this, it's just something that I did before I even sold the house. So I was like, well, gotta use it. So I kept using it. So when I look up proscoutgroup.com, which is my brand, it'll take me straight to my KW website. That is not a mandatory thing you have to do. If you have it, great. If you don't race out to go get it. To Joe's point, you know, budget, right? So figure out, does your budget allow it? I mean, it isn't super expensive to go on GoDaddy or one of those platforms and find a domain name. But here's the thing you got to keep in mind. So for me, when I did mine, when I started, I actually went to an attorney and got my my corporation, my S Corp started, and it's basically just my name, Jordas Reyes, PA. So I changed my license with the state of Florida to that, so I can get paid in my PA name, the corporation name. And then I had a DBA, doing business as, which was called the Pro Scout Group. So it's just a fictitious name that I filed with the state of Florida as well. Then I went to the Chase Bank, got my business banking accounts, yada, yada, yada. So the point being, I had that done before, and then I figured out my domain name. And be cautious if you are going to get a domain name or even build a team name for a brand for yourself. You can't have real estate in it. You can't have the word real estate or realty inside of it. You're confused, or realtor, you're confusing the general public. The general public needs to always know who you work with, who is the brokerage. Unless you are your own broker, you can't put realty or anything like that in your brand. So it's just something to remember.
Broker Jeff gave me that list. If I have it, I'll give you.
Yeah, please, if you could.
He gave it to me once, and I know I have it.
Yeah, I think even if you did a Google search, you could find it. I think it was in 2017 or 18 that the state kind of made some changes as well, because there was just a lot of general confusion around that. Point here is that your website's there. That is your domain name for right now, until otherwise you order or buy a domain name through some other platform. Any question on that part?
I'm glad that you shared all that, but what was the motivation for getting a separate domain? Do you want to have an S?
Well, when I started,
or-
I wasn't with KW, so I didn't even know if a brokerage was going to give me a domain name or anything. I didn't know any of what I was going to receive. And then when I joined my first brokerage, I think I had a website. Long story short, I actually built my own website when I first started. That I was dumb, by the way. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But it was just a place for people to see something when they went to proscoutgroup.com. Then when I joined KW January of 2017, kind of figured everything out, then I forwarded that domain name to my old KW website with the old CRM that we used to have. And then when it came over to this one, I forwarded to this one.
But what underlying purpose did that serve? I mean, if you just give people this URL, then you're there.
Oh, because I want to, this is just a Jordas thing. I wanted branding consistency. I didn't want, I wanted my website, proscoutgroup.com. My email was jordas@proscoutgroup.com.
So that Keller page that they give you, you've modified it to do it somewhat differently than proscout.com.
Well, I just went to the site, like, it's not GoDaddy. I'm just going to use GoDaddy because everybody knows GoDaddy. GoDaddy.com, you would go into your platform and forward your whatever domain you purchased to go to your KW site. So I am using now my KW site, but the domain name that I put on my marketing is always going to be proscoutgroup.com.
And if someone hits that on the web, it'll direct you.
It just takes them right. That's what it did here. It literally just took them right to my KW website, which for you guys is going to be this website right here, this link you see in the middle. Okay. Other questions on that part? All right, follow that checklist. If we can get that, or not, I'll get John to send it out.
Yeah, I'll look for once we're done.
Yeah, be cautious with your name, because there's a lot of people I see out there that sometimes they go under the radar unnoticed, but if you build a big business up, you're gonna get noticed then. And all of a sudden people are gonna be like, well, wait a minute, your name's not right.
I had to change my name, my domain name.
Yeah.
Because there was the word realty in it, and that's how I found out through Broker Jeff that wasn't.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to use realty
Yeah.
and a bunch of other words.
A bunch of words. All right.
Yeah.
On this first page, what you see here are the pages that are currently on your website. So when you look at your website here, I'm gonna toggle back and forth here, so just follow along. All these pages that you see here that exist within your website is what you see here. You know if your page is live on your website when it has that kind of bluish color, whatever that is. We haven't decided yet what color that is. That's how you know that's a live page on your website. You know it's not a live page because when you hover over this one, it says no view available. This is not an active sub page yet in your website. We'll show you along the way kind of how you would activate it. That's weird. How to activate that and so forth. Now, hypothetically, let's just say I wanted to make a change to one of these pages. Let's say my open house sign-in sheet. I would click on these little dots here and I can either fully delete the page off or I can edit the page to make some modifications. Now, I'm not going to go deep into this portion just yet on how to modify because I'm going to do it a little bit later, but you'll recognize this in a moment because we're going to come back to it. But this is where I would now go through and modify. And it's very similar to the command design emails that we did. Remember how we were designing emails, how you would drag and drop these boxes? Similar to that, but again, we're going to revisit that later. I just wanted to show you what you would do to edit. Go ahead.
Oh,
Was there a question?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. Just showing you how to edit. We're not going to go deep yet on how to edit, on what making changes. I just wanted to show you the buttons there for you to.
It's like I don't have some of those.
Well, because you haven't created it.
Ah.
There's some basic ones that just come, and these are additional ones that I've created for myself.
He's gonna share all of
You'll know how to make them now, so that you can.
So
make
that
them.
would be under the creative page.
Well, we're gonna get there.
Oh, okay.
You're jumping ahead.
it.
Questions on where we're at. Let's stay on where we're at, and then it'll all come together. All right.
You're gonna share all of those with us?
Share what?
Your
Well,
creation.
Well, yeah, you can go to my website, copy and paste it all, and make it your own. It has to be creative. I wish there was a way to just share the page and you guys.
But we already have a lot.
Yeah, you do. It's just,
Yeah.
you probably just want to modify it as you see fit. All right, follow along. Next tab is landing page tab. So I click on landing page tab. In here, I think they give you a sample one. You guys will all have technically a sample one in there, which I can click over here and edit that sample page that's there. I think I messed with it over time and I changed it to like a Happy Mother's Day thing. I don't know why I did that. I think I was messing around. It's not an active page that I currently use. I'm just showing you as an example of one that exists. Actually, I know why this exists. I'll tell you in a
I
second.
didn't know there was an open house sign-in sheet. Did you guys?
You created.
You created it.
I did not create this.
Well, it was added up there for you then.
Did you guys know this was on here?
Where did you find that on?
I do have a sign-in
So-
sheet, but I still should.
I don't have that.
I'm
Let-
like, yeah, you do. Sorry.
You're freaking out.
I'm like, wow.
Let's stay with it. We'll go deep. We'll go into it. Let's stay with it. Landing pages is your next tab. Your page is not live until you click this little button over here to make it live. It says, are you sure you want to activate the sample landing page? Yes or no? I'm gonna hit no right now because I don't want it to go live. So until that status is green, when you share that web address in the general public, they still can't access it. The reason I had this one, because I was messing around with it, I was testing something. I did a Mother's Day drawing for my database. And I was gonna send them to a website to get them to register, but then I decided to do it a different way. So this is Rose kind of playing with it to see if maybe this was gonna be a good way for us to do it. Because essentially we were gonna have people go on this page, hey, we're celebrating Happy Mother's Day, and then they were gonna give us information here, but this didn't let me customize exactly how I wanted it, so that's why I never ended up using it. But a landing page, if you guys remember back to the conversation we had, I think it was last week or maybe Monday, it's essentially one page, one site. So look at your landing page as one site and like, for example, open houses could be one landing page, like an open house sign-in sheet could be one page. And you can make a web, and we'll go through some examples. You can make a landing page literally just for listing, where when they go to this landing page, it's all about 123 Main Street. So remember, landing page is just one page of information. And we'll go through a sample of building one here in a little bit.
That means it doesn't have layers.
There's no layers like your website. This website, your command website, has layers. All these are layers to your website. Landing pages don't do layers.
One dimension.
One dimensional. Great way to put it. All right, that's that tab, and in a moment, we'll go to create new page, so you guys can kind of get the idea of how to build it, but right now, we just want to go left to right. Guide builder, so on your website, there is like a buying guide and a selling guide. And people who are registered on your website will have kind of see, essentially it's the steps to buying a home. So you can edit your guide and it just kind of walks them through, hey, here are the steps to buy a home. And you can modify the steps and all that. I personally never really used it to be transparent with you. It's just something that's built into it and it's there.
But that's on our website too?
Everybody has everything I'm showing you here. Yep. Everybody has it. If you don't freak out if you're not seeing something that you see
No,
here.
I just feel like I'm tech savvy at this point. I have no idea what that was. I didn't do anything.
Collections, I'm gonna be transparent with you again. I don't use collections. I never saw the benefit of using this. The collections was supposed to be like a way for me to, like, for example, pick properties out. And then I can engage with people through the website and say, like, share with customers, like contacts that I have in my database. Hey, what do you guys think of this property? It's almost like a blog, if you will. I never saw the need for me utilizing something like this, so I don't use it. I can't go deep into why I would use it, but there are videos on and scholarly marketing around leveraging it if you wanted to. To get the idea of here, when I hit create a collection, essentially it's like doing a property search. Like, let's just pick whatever. Here we go with our keyboard thing again. I'm not gonna do this again today. I bought a new keyboard, by the way, and it's in here. I just didn't have time to hook it up this morning. I just want to show you something here. So like I can make a search. Let's do Naples and let's just do 2 to 5 bedrooms just to apply this filter and see how the list comes down. And then you can select some properties and literally create a collection. Let's maybe just a test.
Where is that getting its data feed from?
It's MLS, the IDX feeds.
Okay, so you.
Yeah, it's all IDX feeds, and then I can assign it to a contact. So then it's allowing us to engage on the website about, hey, what do you think about this property? Where I would see myself potentially use it would be for like, hey, we're actively looking for a home to buy and I'm sending you properties. But at that point, I'm just going to use the MLS. I'm always going to trust the MLS more than I will any website.
But you'll do an email form within MLS then?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Who's here used MLS? Say it again?
This has the same functionality of sending
It's-
that daily or weekly.
It's
email.
similar to
Okay, yeah, that's what I-
similar to that, yes. But I guess that's my point, is that the MLS is always going to have more criteria that you can filter through than any website. I don't know any website that can keep up with what your local MLS can do for you.
Right.
So that's why I don't use it. But it's there, and I just wanted to briefly touch on it,
Alright.
and so that you guys know that I don't use it. All right. Before we get into creating a page, so I'm back just to the main page. I just want to show you now the site and app settings. Site and app settings. This is how you start to make some changes to the look and feel of your website. At MegaCamp, well, let me just jump to theme for a second. Currently, the theme of the website is just either like a red theme or a dark theme here. At MegaCamp, they are making changes to the website to add some additional features than what you're going to see today that were pretty cool. Blogging and article writing was one of the cool ones I liked. Like, company's actually going to provide you blogs, and then you can create your own blogs as well within your website. So that's a new feature that's going to be coming, but it's not live yet. So let's just kind of work ourselves left to right here of what you can do currently in your website. So the first thing is your agent site hero text. Your agent site hero text, when you go to your website, let's click back to the home page. That's this text right here. Your home search starts here. That's where this is pulling from. Your home search starts here. If I literally, let me just copy this. I put test, go, test. And I go all the way down to the bottom, hit save changes. Close these other bars. When I go back to my website, hit refresh, and now it says test. Let's probably change that back though. So put my home starts here, hit save. You don't save changes, the changes won't happen. And most changes happen very quickly to your website. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing you guys can decide what to put on your home page. The next thing are your hero images. So on your website, there are these images that are floating on the background. The company has like 5 default ones that you'll see currently in there, like 4 or 5, I think it is. 5 probably. Well, I want to make sure we have 5 is all you can do. You can change them first off. So like I left, these 3 are the default ones that the company provided, and I probably could easily change this one. The way I looked at it, the 2 that I changed are probably because they literally look like nothing in Southwest Florida. So what I did is I took pictures from listings that I had because they're professional photos. So I took the high quality photos that my photographer sent me, and I put them in there as background so that they filter through, and I'm actually getting some local pictures. So if you have some high quality, or you buy some high quality pictures, maybe beach, stuff that's Southwest Florida that makes more sense, you can then update that to what makes more sense for you. This is where you can kind of start creating, a little bit of identity, if you will, on your website, making it more custom. Any question on that?
No.
And it's simple, it's literally just delete, and then you have the option to add, and you're just gonna pull it from your database, or pull it from your computer. Let me make sure that it didn't change anything for me. There we go. Okay, so good, moving on. Next thing is registration, forced registration. So I currently have my website set up so that a visitor will be able to view unlimited properties on the website before being asked to register. Essentially, they're never going to be asked to register the way I have currently on this setting. If I want to limit it, I can limit it to either 10 properties. So after 10 properties, they will ask them to register, 2 properties, and no property viewing. It's funny, the other day, I was researching homes in the Tampa area because I want to get familiar with the prices there. I think you guys don't have family down there too, so I was kind of looking to see what's over there. And I was specifically waterfront, because it's funny, waterfront homes have gone up a lot here. So I was looking to see what waterfront homes were like. And there's a place called Apollo Beach, and I landed on some website for Apollo Beach. I can only look at one property before it would force register. I was like, shit. I want, and you know what? I know, because I don't want to. No, I went somewhere else. I didn't register because I just knew what was going to happen next, and I didn't want to waste their time. But the reality is, if I was a consumer and not an agent, I would have registered because I wanted the information that was on the website.
So it has,
100 other websites though.
has impact.
This one, yeah, but this one was very unique in the sense that it was clearly an agent or agents, I don't even know, or a brokerage. I don't know who it was. I didn't even care who it was. I just cared that the information was well laid out for that specific neighborhood, that specific area. So no, I probably would have given my information. It happened to me last night again, actually, too. I was looking at air park homes in Florida. I want to see where in Florida are there air park homes, kind of like Wing, whatever over here off the Rattlesnake. Same thing happened. I'm like, crap, I would have to register to get all the extra information. So point being is people will register on your website. They will. You get to decide though, do you want to give unrestricted 10 properties, 2 properties, or hey, no, you can't view any properties on my website without registering. Your choice, your business on how you want to run that one. Okay. Then there's your hero text for downloading it for wherever you're, there's different places that the download my app feature shows up. This is where you can change the text for that. I don't know what else you would put other than download app. So let me just do that real fast. So it shows up later. Should this thing start? Literally having in Erica's office right now. I'm not going to type it right now. That's the hero text for anywhere that you have a page for downloading your mobile app, what the hero text would look like. Then you have virtual tours. So on your website, I want to show you something here. For example, and I'll show you how to do featured listings on your website.
Yeah.
But on your website, if you notice here, notice this property. This property very likely has a virtual tour that the agent has in the MLS, but it doesn't show up here. So when you list a property, not only can you put it on your homepage as a featured listing, I'll show you how to do that in a moment, but you can also have it so that they can actually access the virtual tour for that property. So when they click on it, and they click on virtual tour, it'll take them to whatever tour you have from your person. So I probably should have done this one, so it goes right to the video, and then they can do the video from there.
Do they make the video for you too?
My person does, yeah.
Your person?
The company that. No, this is my photographer that does that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the photographer that does that. What I'm saying is that you can share. You can't no other, like, for example, even on Zillow, I think you can't even do it anymore, because we used to, when you had your own Zillow profile, I don't know if we even still do have that feature anymore through Zillow since they became a brokerage, but the point is this: when you have featured listings that are your listings and you have a virtual tour you want to share, this is how you go about making sure that you select your listing that you have and then you add a virtual tour for it. So like if I want to select this listing, when I hit confirm, then it's going to ask me, hey, where's the link for your virtual tour in there? So it'll take me to it. So instead of you sharing Zillow's website or other party website, you share your website that also has a video tour in there. That makes sense? So that's what this whole video tour, and then you can edit your active tours. So it's just the same thing here. As you can see which listings you have tours connected to it. And then anytime you make any changes here, you have to make sure you hit save changes or nothing will happen. It does say take up to 24 hours on some things, like you saw that the hero text, it didn't. On some things, it may take up to 24 hours, but for the most part, it's usually within an hour that everything's updated. So that's the first tab that's the general tab. The next tab are your URLs. There's really not much for you to change here. This is right here where you can see if you have another URL available for your subdomain name. Honestly, I don't think it's worth making a change, because if you're going to make a change and get a domain that's something.com, not blah blah.kw.com. Does that make sense? Like I wouldn't get, even if I could use the word realty, I wouldn't put jordasrealty.kw.com. No, I would want a domain that would say jordasrealty.com. If that was, obviously that's not allowed, just to be clear, it's not allowed. But this, you could see if there's another subdomain available for you. Then here, there's nothing for you to do here. It's just a link to your app. So if you don't know where your mobile app link is, you can find it in your actual, you can find it actually in command, you can find it in the consumer app, and you can find it right here as well. Your link to your mobile app. Make sure that when you guys are sharing your link to your app, that you're just not sharing the general Apple Store KW consumer app link, like where they're just going to go straight to the Apple Store and get a generic one. It needs to be this link, because that link specifically is linked to you. How many times can I say link in 60 seconds? Did I say linked already?
So what you're saying is they're connected.
They're connected. They're linked together.
Got it.
Make sure you use that unique code, or here's what's going to happen. They're going to download the app, and then there's not going to be any agent connected to them on that app.
So what is auto-populated up here with a whole bunch of numbers? It looks very unique. That's part of it.
That's your unique link.
So that's the right one.
That's your unique link to you.
Is it the link?
It's the link. It's the link. All right, don't change anything here. There's really nothing. There's nothing for you guys to really change on this page. All right, featured listings. That's the third tab over. So in your home page right now, if you don't have any, when you scroll down, it probably just shows the top, and then it shows interested, let's talk. It doesn't show featured listings. You have the opportunity, going back to the third tab, you have the opportunity to add up to 12 listings. So what do you want the hero text to be? So where you see featured listings there, you could change it right here to something else. Up to 100 characters, that's a lot. If you wanted to be more elaborate there, what you put. And then you can see I have 3 listings put in there right now. Let's add a couple of more real quick so you can see how that's easy to do. So you're going to hit select listings. And what's so unique about this is, so it's going to default to your listings first that are on there. And then you're going to really want to look at all listings. You don't have to, they don't have to necessarily just be your listings to have featured listings on there. You can feature any listing. And it's funny because if you scroll down, Bristol, Warsaw, Huntington, it's like auto-populating listings all over the country. So, go ahead.
Not trying to be
That guy.
snide or sarcastic or anything. What you're telling us is that in this page, we can put feature listings, say of Keller, and they're not, they don't have to be ours. I thought in order to put something on our page, we had to have ownership.
You're talking about social media. IDX feeds are just pulling from MLS feeds, so that you can do that. When you promote, the challenge is your social media. If I post something on social media that's not mine, I need to give courtesy to who did it, and really I would want permission.
Of course.
This right here, it's going to show who is the listing agent. This, So I just put Naples right now just for starters, just because I was gonna start.
Then that would take them, if the person hits that page and they click something, would that not take them to the listing agent?
Nope. Nope.
This
This is your website. It's gonna show, hey, actually, it's Alfredo Burgos from Exit Realty, that listing. This lot, eXp Realty, this line, this place here, Parkline Realty, this is Edgewater Realty, this is Premier Plus over here. There's the agent still gets the credit because the public, let's just click one so you can see what I mean.
Well,
Wait,
it's 12.
where do I go to search for the listing? I don't get it. Wait, yeah,
Where you following?
yeah, wait, featured, okay.
Follow me, guys. Select
Okay.
listings. And this little pop-up comes up. It defaults to only my listing. You can click on all listing. And here's where you have to search. You can search either by property address, the MLS, or the city, and then you probably want to search by MLS or the address that you're
So
looking
I
for.
want to use the new KW agent sites?
I don't know. what
Jordan?
Okay, so,
Yeah, Joe.
Question, any drawbacks with, choosing a property over on Port Royal?
No, guys, if it's on here, you can put it on your website as a featured listing.
If we put it as a featured listing and it's like it's sold.
Hey, try to do this later, guys. I know what you're trying to, your website's probably just not set up. So,
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
I'm good now.
Okay, go ahead.
If we, like, okay, I've got all these choices, I'll pick a few or whatever. else.
Yeah.
But what if they get sold, like, what if there's turnover on MLS? Is it auto-populate something else? Does it automatically take it off?
No, you need to take it off. The featured listings are managed by you.
Like, is there any way to get like something that's auto-populated?
I'm not aware of one. Honestly, I'm not aware of one. I think the status should change depending. I just don't recall because I haven't tracked it.
Check that, like.
Yeah, you want to check your website. I mean, I always at least say once a month you look at it real quick and just say, hey, is everything good on your website? This is the part of working on your business.
So one idea that could be helpful would be just like the ones we're gonna do open houses on or something like that, like something that we're remotely connected to.
You could, or I mean, I know some agents like on Marco. I know some agents that specifically hide, like their the people that they target the price point that they're looking for.
But. And it's okay to be totally random. It doesn't have to be Keller Williams. And.
The company is gonna get. Let's just pick this random one. And where the hell is this? I don't even know where the hell that is. Save. Now it's there. Where is it? Right there.
What is your headline?
Here's the point. Let me make the point. Here's the Jeff's thing here. It's courtesy of. I'm not the one. I'm not saying it's my listing. It's courtesy of somebody else's listing. Okay, so the person who needs to get the credit will get it, and then this will just have a menu, a bar that just slides. So all your listings would just slide through your featured. Obviously, don't promote a property outside your area. To me, that doesn't make any sense. So I would delete that, hit save changes. When I go back to my website and hit refresh, that listing will be gone. It's gone. Questions?
I don't know until I play.
And just the key thing here to remember is, make sure you hit this little button that says all listings and then decide how you want to search for it. And then find your listing that you want to add. Okay.
And you have to make sure you hit all listings, not my listings.
All listings.
That's why mine wasn't working.
All listings. Then
This is cool.
then your theme, remember, you can't, it really is just either red or dark right now. A couple of weeks, we should see more themes on here that you guys can select from to just again add some uniqueness if you like to the website. And then on the last tab here, I don't think actually there is. Okay, yeah. So your last tab are your agent site pages. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what all the pages are there are on your website. So we're going to do a test one here in just a moment, so you can see how, if I wanted to add a new page, how I would go about doing it by hitting add page. But you'll see that when I click that, it's going to ask me which page do you want to add. Remember in the first home screen, how we had the different pages that were live or not live? It's pulling from that. So I would create the page first that I'm looking to add, and this is where it would ask me what page it is that I want to add. And then it'll even, believe here, you can even go on each page here and edit what the page title is.
Wow.
And what the information that is on the website. You do want to go through this and make sure you fill it out, because you want, for example, when I go to about Jordas Reyes, let's go here, about Jordas Reyes. You see how it says jordas.kw.com/about? That's where it pulled that. That's the slug. So I probably want to put capital. That looks better to me. What's on that website? What's the information on there, and then the name for this page as it appears in navigation. So how it says here, drop down menu about Jordas. If I wanted to say, who is Jordas Reyes? Save. Let's see how quick it does it. It should do it pretty quickly. Who is Jordas Reyes? My phone hasn't rung. 911 hasn't called me yet, telling me that I promoted a property that wasn't mine. It's so weird. Thought 911 was going to call me. You guys get it right? It's okay. You're safe. Nobody found that funny? Only Rosa did.
I'm so.
All right. Any questions on this one? All right. Who's ready to build a page real quick with me?
Another page, like not our own?
We haven't built anything. No, we're gonna build it together here. Don't build it, follow along with me, because you're gonna miss learning if you're trying to do it at the same time. Okay.
I don't know if this is my learning style. I'm trying so
I
hard.
know. All right, let's create something new. So we're gonna create a new page. And I have two options. Either I'm creating a new sub page that exists. Remember the layers of all the different pages that exist, like who is Jordas Reyes, about the team, my blog, whatever you want to do. That's the first option. It's a sub page on your agent website, or it's a unique landing page all on its own. Let's do a landing page first.
Okay, sorry, can you help me where we at?
So create new page, top right. I'm gonna proceed, guys, here, because the thing is, it's not so much like a hands-on workshop, because I want to make sure you guys do want me to hit on this stuff right here, right? So I'm gonna kind of speed up a little bit, mainly for that. We can always decide, wow, yeah, because time is going fast. Create a new page, and let's start off by creating a landing page. I just want to show you kind of fast here how some of these features work.
Why would we need this?
If you want to create a page specific to a website, if you want to create a sign-in form, I mean, you'll see here what's possible, and then you can decide how you want to do it. I don't go crazy into it because I don't really think people are finding me through a website, so I really don't care too much about, like, as long as I got some basic things on the website, that's all that really, to me, matters. But there are some people that do, you know, put a lot of thought and time into building sites and pages and sub pages and, you know, doing all that. But just know that's not an income producing activity unless that is where your main source of business is coming from, your website. Then yeah, then I can see where you would want to make it a little more elaborate. Let me refresh here because it's not loading. There we go. So when you start to build a landing page, guess what? It's blank. You now have to be that creative person that's going to design how this landing page is going to look. You're going to design the name of it first up top here. You can put the name. So hypothetically here, we're just going to put test open house sheet. Let's just say that. And then you have options on the right-hand side that are called widgets of what you can load onto this website. Beyond these widgets, you can't do anything else. Beyond these widgets, you can't do anything else. So let's start designing it. So let's do a branded header. Probably want to start with that. Okay, yeah, I want to probably start with something that brands me at the top. Maybe the next thing I want to do on this landing page is I want to highlight a listing. Maybe I want to highlight a listing. So I'm going to put the listing in there, and it's going to auto-populate this with some random property. Later, we're in a moment configure that widget. Right now, we're just mapping it out. All right, so I'm going to highlight this property on this landing page. That's the point of this whole landing page, is to highlight this property. And maybe I did a video walkthrough me presenting this property, and I put it on YouTube, and now I'm ready to put that on my landing page too. So I'm going to grab video and I'll put it down here at the bottom. And now I have a whole section for where my video is going to go. And there's going to be a description of the video. There's going to be a headline to the video. Bless you. And then maybe at this point, I want them to, give me their information. So I'm gonna put a lead form down here. Okay, and then later I'll be able to change what that says. All right, cool, I like this. And then maybe, just maybe, I want them to be able to download my app at the end and know that I have an app that they can download. And I'm gonna put that down there at the bottom. Download the KW app. And maybe that's enough.
Maybe you're done.
And maybe I'm done and I don't want to do anything else and I'm good. However, there's more options that you have here, but I think for what I'm doing right now, this example, maybe that would be it. For me at this point.
I think it's awesome.
So then we have a layout for a website. And now we're gonna go ahead and configure the widgets. And we're gonna just start all the way at the top, click on number 1. And then you're gonna make changes. So maybe here, I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, Main Street, I don't know, whatever your text is that you wanna have at the top. And I'm not even gonna play this game right now, so I just put 1, 2, 3 Main. And you're gonna verify your headshot, you're gonna verify your phone number, you're gonna verify that information, you're gonna verify your team logo, all that's good. Save and apply. It just says 1, 2, 3 Main, it's whatever you want it to say. Then you're gonna go to the next, you're gonna hit the arrow and you're gonna go to the next feature. Now it's the actual listing. So let's actually browse listings and put a listing in there. Let's find something in Naples here just to auto populate. Actually, when you have a listing, you can actually click on, hold on, actually, I might have to just look it up manually. Yeah, just property address. Or just type in Naples to find one random. Let's just take this random, let's pick a house. Chill. Let's just pick this one. Obviously, I would be probably doing a landing page for a KW listing or my listing, but I'm just for the purpose of this, clicking this one, which is another agent's listing. So I've selected the listing and it just picked an image from the listing. I can do custom image if I had other images, but it just randomly populated an image from it, the first shot. So I probably wouldn't do one that just has pool as the first shot, but nonetheless, I'm good. That's the listing I want to pick. I'm gonna hit save and apply. Go.
About 5, 6 clicks back where you're in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. And you made a selection there. I didn't see that happen.
I'm not sure which one you're talking about, so
When you were selecting the MLS.
so change listing, all I did,
Can you see how you put Naples there? Can you put Keller Williams?
no, it's an actual property address. I mean, if who has an address as KW listing, top
I
line,
do.
you have, what is it again?
28532 Azealia, AZZI.
Hold on, ZZI,
LI way.
oh, too fast for me.
AZILL, just, I'm sorry, 1 L.
Mhm.
I way,
Search.
second one.
Bonita, okay, that one, all right, let's just select that one. Oh, now this one had more picture options, so maybe the other listing that I picked only had 1 picture, because this one's giving me more options to select from. So let's
be able to create a rotation of that.
That's just 1 picture. There's gonna populate the other ones here in a second, then hit save and apply. All right, cool. Now we're gonna hit next. And all this information auto-populated from the listing.
That's crazy.
All this information is auto-populated from the listing. All that's auto-populated. Now we're at the part where it's the video. So maybe I, walk through a house, whatever you want to put here. Let's say it's that. And then your description, which is what goes under the video. That's the description of whatever you want to put there. And then the video itself, you're either going to be manually uploading a video, which is probably going to be way too large a file and confusing. Just put your YouTube URL for that video right here.
So you want us to take videos and upload them to YouTube?
I don't want you to do, I'm sorry. If you're gonna do videos part of your strategy, then yeah, that's the best way I think personally to do it.
You're talking about your video walkthrough?
Yep. Well, no, because that video walkthrough wouldn't share well on here. What you want are legitimate videos. Just click a random video.
When you drive a Ram.
Like share the link, copy the link, and that's what I want. it's easier for you to share things from YouTube. I believe, and I haven't tried it yet, you can also upload videos into the Google Drive, but again, this is the whole other thing, I just put it on YouTube. Because here's the way I look at it, when people start Googling you, that's just more possibilities for them to find you on YouTube.
Yeah, you're the YouTube master.
We can do something, yeah, I mean, yeah, we might be able to figure out.
We could get out in public and do it, you know?
But look at this, just populate it. That's why I like it, because it's gonna populate everything right there. So I just embedded the YouTube video. It's gonna be the walk to the house, not Michael Jordan crying. And then I'm gonna hit save and apply. And then I gotta go to the next tab, the next widget. Here is the interested, let's talk. You can change that to whatever you want. You could say, you know, for sign in for additional information, so whatever, you know, it's your call to action. Look at this as your call to action. What do you want them to do and why? That you put that there, you'll hit save and apply. And the last one here was to download the app. So this is just general CAN language that's there. If you want to modify, you absolutely can, and your links are automatically embedded into there. Save and apply. Now I'm gonna hit, so if I was still can build this page and come back to it later, I would just hit save landing page, come back to it later. I'll delete this, but right now I'm gonna publish this page. Okay, save, yes, updated, and let's get out of here. Now when I go to landing pages, remember landing pages where we were, there it is. And it's, notice it's green because I actually hit activate. So now I can actually start to share this page, and this is when I share with the general public, this is what they're gonna see. And Michael Jordan's crying right there.
So if you are doing an open house, this would be a good way to share.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I mean, there's so many, so here's the thing, there's so many creative ways you can go about that. Yes, you can, because technically, like I know some agents are using barcodes right now, and they're having the barcode take them to the landing page or take them to a sign-in sheet and do their sign-in virtually. Personally, if I were me, I want people to sign in the moment. In the moment, and I don't know if it was, you had an awesome little sheet that I saw when you and I were talking, I love that. That's what I would do, so talk to her about that. Yeah, so keep doing that, because I know a lot of people are trying to go to like, oh, I want to give them a barcode, and I think it looks cool, and I'm not saying it doesn't, but man, I just want, give me your information right here. I don't want to make it difficult for you to give me your information. Now, if you want more information and an awesome walkthrough of the house, or you want to take them to some other website that has more information, then yeah, you can use a barcode to take them here if you want it, to a landing page.
Can you make that QR, you take them to a signage page?
Yeah, absolutely, you
That
can.
would be linked to your database?
You absolutely could. Because barcode generators are free, and you can Google free barcode generator and put the website you want it to go to, and it'll generate a barcode for you to download as a picture. You put that picture of that barcode on whatever marketing you want to do. So the lady I'm talking about, she literally just had a nice frame that has like a nice border to it, and in the middle is her barcode. Just takes her to a landing page she created to get people's information. That's it. Remember on the class we were doing when we were talking about ads? You guys remember? And I was telling you that I prefer the Facebook lead sheet versus a landing page. You remember that conversation? Here's the reason why. If I have a Facebook ad that takes them to this property website that I spent some, few minutes and they, designing, there's no guarantee that they're going to give me their information down here. That was my point. On the landing page, I'm sorry, through the Facebook ad, where it's the Facebook lead sheet, they gave me their information before they can get the property information.
In this case, that would go to, if you did it there, it would go to the selling agent.
No, this is all to you. This is yours. This is yours.
Can you explain that last sentence then, what you just said?
What I was talking about is that when I talked last week, or whenever the Facebook class was, I talked about the fact that when you go to create a Facebook ad, it gives you an option of doing one ad where it takes you to a landing page, and an ad where it's just the lead form that Facebook has. And I said that I like the Facebook lead form because they have to give me their information first to get the information.
Fair enough.
That's why.
But
Because there's no guarantee that when I land on your page for 123 Main and I look at it and all this and that, there's no guarantee that I'm gonna give you my information.
oh, I see, because you're saying they would look through it all, but not.
Yeah, there's no forced registration here to do that.
Forced registration.
So
Okay.
you do it the other way with the Facebook page. they give the information to access it, but then it gets sent automatic, they get.
Yeah, it directs them to whatever website you wanted to direct it to begin with.
Little beat code.
Yeah. Yeah, they gotta give the password.
Can't make it so that
There's no forced registration on a landing page, not at least on this landing page now.
Do it now.
Yeah. Alright, so that was building a landing page. I'm gonna deactivate that though. Are you sure you wanna activate? Yes, because I don't want, that's not a real page. I want, actually, no, there was something I meant to show you. No, it's not here though. Alright, so that's it. That's a landing page. Let me think for a second, guys. I'm just trying to think if I pivot and tell Jeff to, do you guys want to do that activity? Because I could literally go on till 12 o'clock between what I want to finish with you and the stuff you guys wanted me to refresh on. You guys
We
make
can
call,
do the activity later.
your call.
What's-
Everybody
what-
heard me. I was gonna have to, we were gonna basically split you guys up into groups and say, hey, we're gonna, each of you write a listing contract where we're gonna give you the property. And basically just give you practice of, doing the listing contract and then writing a purchase contract back and forth.
Personally, I'm gonna need it.
Give me feedback. What do you think? Would you prefer me to go deeper here and keep going?
Yeah.
Depth.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, pause for a second, the video, right back. We just touched on
I would
it.
like to practice.
Can we all just be right back?
But is this over anybody's head a little bit, because this stuff is kind of hard, right?
This
I
exact
don't-
thing I feel okay with, this is like one of the few things I feel okay with, but. I'm
Yeah, but like technology in general, like I don't know if I'm as good as.
I don't,
Like, I feel like.
I don't see the value in
Class
it.
at the time, you
Yeah,
know, like
like-
value in the website.
I don't see the value in this part. And
Yeah,
and-
I think it's amazing.
But I
My
think,
thing is, I'm afraid to not have it good, because someone's gonna Google us, right? Like, I would Google you before I even did anything.
But this part,
Landing pages,
I don't see
specific
how,
landing page or website.
You don't see what?
like, okay, I'm trying to see the value in this part.
Mhm.
Um,
Landing page?
yeah,
Well, you're proving a point. I think that's,
just tell it how it is.
it's too complicated for me. For me, I don't, like, if I think about where I would use this, here's where I would maybe consider using it for if I was marketing on different websites, like Instagram, social media, maybe just to boost out different
Yeah.
things that are specific to a property, or I can tell a seller, hey, listen, I have a landing page that's a website specific just to you, and then we promote the crap out of that website. Where it's just like, they're not gonna get lost in the about me's and all that. Now we're really just pushing the website for that property.
So can I ask you what, so like, for that one that we just did, that address, I'm doing an open house there Sunday, and it's the neighborhood I live in, so I know a lot of people that live there too, so I'm thinking that landing page, just copy that URL and put it on my Facebook, and that's, right?
You could,
Cause that's a cheap way of marketing and not having to pay for Facebook to market it, right? Am I wrong?
But.
yeah, because you can, but you can still do that on your website. You can just literally pull the address up on the website, and you're accomplishing the same thing, except now they have more properties and more things for them to look
But
at.
I was just gonna put that landing page just on my Facebook, because then it makes, cause like a Facebook flyer for an open house is great,
Yeah.
but there's only like 2 pictures you can see. So now if I have this landing page, they can see all the pictures and the description.
Right, that's where it could be beneficial, but here's the thing, I don't wanna get into the nitty gritty of it, because at the end of the day, you gotta figure out how you wanna run your business, but here's then the other side of that coin is this. If open house guest comes in, do I want them to only look at the property that they visited, or do I want them to see that, but also see all the other properties on my website?
I honestly,
So-
just because of what you just said, I don't see how this could add value to my business. The customers I've worked with so far,
Mhm.
that I've been on, different conversations with them, they would never access this for any reason. They're waiting for me to provide like,
Yeah, no, this is for active, ready, willing, able buyers you guys are working with, like, no, you wouldn't use that with any of this. This is for marketing purposes.
Like, wouldn't it look good to your listing?
Yes, it would.
person that, hey, I made this landing page for you, whether or not it's actually super.
well,
accessed, but-
actually, like, for example, what I did was, what I'm gonna do from now on is like, once I have the listing active, I send them like a PDF. This is what your listing looks like. They don't really even Some of them won't.
So,
So you use it towards for your clients. Yeah, I
Here-
think that's a good idea too.
so here's what I would advise you guys, just let's get right down to it.
Yes.
So you and I are thinking very similar, but that doesn't mean that this is wrong and not valuable. So what I would say if I were you is I would Google, how are you using listing or landing websites in your business, and find out from agents who are using it at a different level, because maybe there's another coin to it that I'm not seeing. Like, for example, could you technically have, I don't know, could you have a flyer on a little box in front of your house, and then it has one picture, some basic information, scan this to go to my landing page, and it's a landing page just to promote that property? You could. Do you want to? That's your call. I mean, I don't think we'll solve that here today, and not especially if I want to already cancel Jeff, so I don't want to upset him and not then cover this. So one more question on this and we're going.
More comments. So what I value it as is, let's say that you want to buy a new Apple Mac or a Lincoln or whatever. First thing you're gonna do is go whoop on the web, type in that thing, and you're gonna see their pages.
Yep.
And it's gonna take you to something else, to something else, to something else, to something else, to encourage your
Yep.
interest. And then once you've got your interest, filling out the form is the next step. However, but the power of what you said is, if you put it on Facebook, look once, look twice, now you need to register, then take you there.
Yeah,
So putting all that together is an incredible amount of technology, and it empowers us to,
yeah.
I see it that way. It's just, I mean, all I can think about
I
is
think
I
you're-
want to sit somewhere and just
I think you're right.
pound my head against it for a couple hours to see how I can learn it
Yeah.
and make something. And then once I can, then it's like, oh, I've got this coming up this weekend. Then I can go click, 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 click with those
Yeah.
widgets, and I'll have something ready to go in a matter of
Yeah, I
time.
think
Yeah.
And you wanna upplay your open house, or, you know, whatever you might have going on there.
Yeah, here's what I'll give you this statement around command in general, and I said this to somebody at one point, and multiple people. Command has a lot, and but there's no one saying that you have to use every single feature command has. Use the features that are gonna benefit you in your business, and the way you're currently starting your business is not gonna benefit from this feature of command. That's it. Moving on. Yet, in the future, you may. It may evolve and you may find out, wait a minute, I like this. So let's move forward here, because I want to show you one more example before we move off this topic. Now, so what we did was a landing page. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a sub page on your website. So remember what a sub page is. It is one of these other pages that exist on your website. That's your sub page. And wow, I got to update the headshot. All right, so we have a clean start, just like we did before. And then we have widgets, just like we had before. So on this one, what do I want to design? Let's see. Let's start with. Hold on a second. I'm gonna move this thing. Let's put this up here. Let's see. I got images, text. Let's see what I want to start with. I want to start with agent profile, maybe. So maybe you want to start with your profile of you. That's there. Let me just show you what they all do so you can kind of see it. So let me delete that. That was your agent profile. Maybe you want to have a page that highlights your team. Your team doesn't have to literally be people on your team. It could be other professionals you work with, photographer, your title company, your lender, etc. You can highlight all of them on a page as well. Go ahead.
I think I may be missing some buttons that you have on your side.
I'll have to sidebar then and see what's going on. Make sure you set it up as a sub page. You should see that what I'm looking at here, if it's a sub page. Contact form, that's another automated piece here. You can do a contact form. You can do testimonials page. So these are going to be your testimonials from your customers. That'll auto-populate for you. So that's another option you can add. I think most of you should have that. If you don't, like meaning already set up. If you don't, we can walk through setting one up for you. Let's delete that. Oh, yeah, testimonial page, like a page. You can do testimonial lists where the carousel allows you to flip through it like this. This one just has it in list format. So that's an option. Company profile. So that would be like, hey, you know, about the team, you know, about you. You can do so however you want to leverage this. Like I did one. Let me show you on my page where it was. Let's see. Why hire us? I think the features were a little different back then. No, it's the same one. So it was why hire us, and then just some stuff. Team.
Yeah, but who's that guy?
Well, that guy hasn't updated his headshot on this particular page, so we gotta fix that. That's how I designed that, was using this right here, the company profile. So let's go through the other one. You can do your testimonial capture form. So you want to start capturing testimonials from your customer. This is one of the best ways to go about doing it, is actually having them go. I recommend having them go to 3 sources, my preference: your website, Google, if you're using like a Google page, and Facebook. It's my recommendation for reviews, for customer reviews. Yeah, that's my recommendation. I'm gonna leave that there. And then download the app, same as before. You can add that as well. Maybe you want to do an image and text, you can do also that. So let me just delete this again. If you wanted to add an image, you can, and then you would actually upload whatever image that was. If you wanted to add text, you can add your text as well. So you have different things you can mess with here. Let me delete this image. This is the image I just added a second ago. Let's just say I was just going to do this testimonial review page here. Then I always have to hit configure. And then there's nothing to be configured here because this is all auto-populated stuff. So no, there's one, this one. What I wanted to say. So at the top, whatever you want the top to say. So in mine, it said, "Why hire us?" Actually, the headline was "Why hire us," and whatever your team name is or brand, it could just be your name if you don't have one. And then what you want. So that thank you message you see there, "Thank you for being a valued customer," you can modify that message right there. And then here it says, "How would you rate your experience?" You can modify that right there. And so forth. And then you're gonna hit save and apply. I'm actually gonna create this. Let me modify this as a test page. Test. And hit save changes. Would you like to publish this page? Yes. Now it took me back to the agent sites. This is what I showed you guys earlier. We're gonna add that page. Looks like it hasn't added it yet, so I'm gonna hit add page, and now it's gonna ask me which one do I want to do. I want to add that test one that I just created. So I'm gonna add and hit continue. It's gonna ask me what names do I want to put on. I just leave it default and hit save. And now when I go to my website, hit refresh, that new page will be there. It's just gonna say test. Oh, well, new page because I left it named new page. And then here's where they would bada boom. So let me delete that real quick because I don't want that there. So delete, hit the little dots, delete the page. Click to confirm, done. Make sure to pull it off. Nope, the page is gone. Good. So it did its job.
Was that your listing?
Yeah. All right, so that's it. So again, you can either build a sub page or build a landing page on the site. I'm gonna pivot away from this now. I'm gonna hit one more thing on reports and putting your goals in there before I start hitting these items. Questions on website before I pivot.
Like a fish tight, and in my case, I have to like try to play with it.
Yeah.
And then I'll have questions, because right now I was just following, you know.
Yeah. Here's a general piece of advice for you guys. Do you guys remember the 5 jobs of the real estate agent? Remember that there's the 5 jobs?
Yeah,
Who thinks they know them all without me helping?
no,
Lead generation.
Lead gen, lead follow-up, go on appointments, negotiate contracts, and script practice and role play.
yeah,
Did you hear me say build a website and modify your website?
no, that's not.
Your website works fine. Your website works fine. Okay. Don't go spending hours like I did when I first started building a website. Because all the people on Google were gonna find me and I was gonna be an amazing realtor because they were gonna find me on Google. Your website's gonna be fine just the way it is by default. When you put it on your marketing, it's gonna work. People can search properties. The only thing I would do if I were you guys is I would just go to the general tab. Even the hero text is fine. If you want to update the photos, your hero photos, I would maybe do that. Decide if you want to restrict how many sites they can see before they have to force register, and maybe do a few featured listings so you have something there.
Honestly, I've had friends call me that I've shared my app with them, and I've had, like, we have had a friend call me, she's like, "I'm going through your app right now. just like searching for property. and
Yeah,
that's
it
great.
is already set up surprisingly, even the about me part,
Yep.
like, I was so worried about what to do for the bio, I don't have shit to put on my bio right now, like, so what, like, so what they have is good enough.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
kind of what you were saying, Jason, we're like worried that it's not perfect, get it out, like,
Put it out.
like, it will never be perfect until you're like a Doreen Doyle that can actually like blow yourself up, you know what I mean, like, we don't have anything to tell people about.
There's enough on there to get going, guys.
Yeah.
Update the hero shots if you want, update the featured listing so you have something there and move on. The goal is to get people to download your app and start using your app as their primary source for looking at properties. And that's where most people are looking at homes on a phone.
That's the first thing I request, hey, can I share my app with you?
There you go. Cool, I can move on?
Yeah.
Alright, so next week, I'm gonna be going into on Thursday, the last day of this is, we're gonna kind of really start talking business planning and setting goals and things like that. So maybe in the future, I might do this where I'm doing the feature I'm about to show you on that date, but I wanted to show you something. So under reports. And actually, I didn't put anything for 2023, so we're just gonna use 2023 as an example for me. I want you to go to goals on the reports. And you don't have to do it today. I really prefer you guys to, in these, especially if you're taking bold, start figuring out what your 12-month goals is as you go into 2024, and you can go in there and start adding, because here's what, let me show you. When I go here, it'll show me the feature for putting 2024, but you can't put them in yet, the numbers. So when you go to set your goals, it's just gonna ask, well, I'm gonna show you what I did. I don't know if I did that too quick here. I'm gonna do click goal setting. I'm adding a goal because they actually is telling me right here, hey, you haven't set any goals for 2023. Let me just set them right now. Takes you here, and I'm gonna hit get started. Now, next week, if this is confusing what I'm about to go through, don't worry about it. I'm not even gonna spend a lot of time here because we're actually just gonna end up taking a break and then hitting these topics. When we talk next week, and for some of you that I've already met one-on-one with, and we've hit this topic, you already kind of maybe heard some of these things about what I talked to you about, where all this come from is the economic model from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. The economic model tells us how many appointments we should be going on to do the amount of business that we want to do. This is really what this is doing for us. So it's asking me, okay, what goal am I setting? And I'm just going to make up stuff right now so I can just get something in there. It's asking me what is my profit goal for the year. So I want to profit one. Keyboard, come on, don't do this right now. 150. Let's go with that. And my expenses this year are going to be, I'm going to spend 40,000 in my business. And this is, by the way, my expenses were about 60 to 70,000. In my second, third, fourth, fifth year, I would easily spend 50 to 60,000 in the business.
Yeah, that's where you kind of ramp up the most, right? Your
50 to
second
60,000
year.
a year.
Advertising.
60, not.
Yeah, that's what, no, 50 to 60,000 a year is what I was supposed to be spending.
You're 60.
Most of it ended up coming in when I hired an admin because I'm paying them 40 grand a year.
Yeah.
So 20 for advertising.
Not necessarily, it's broken down to different buckets. So the millionaire, I'm gonna just say MREA. MREA is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. In that book, you have 4 models that it talks about in there. So, you know, since I can't really go deep into it today, you guys need to. It's the economic model, and we have the lead gen model. So the economic model tells us how much we need to make and how many appointments we're gonna ultimately need to go on to make that money. The lead gen model that's gonna help us focus on where those leads are gonna come from. Then we have the budget model, and that's where that starts to you start to track your business in the P&L, and you actually have categories for your business that you track. So in general, when I looked at my P&L, it was usually between 50 or 60,000 roughly a year that I was spending in the business. And then the last model, which most of us right now don't need to worry about this one, is the org chart. The org chart model is the one that says, hey, I'm ready to start scaling a business, team, and I need staff and people. That's where the org chart comes in. I'm gonna just tell you this right now, there's 7 levels to the org chart. Actually, I'm not gonna go too deep here. There's 7 levels to like the org chart. Level 1 is what most of you guys are at, where it's just you as an agent doing everything. Level 2 is where it's you as an agent doing everything except some administrative things, because now you've hired an admin to be on your team. And then you start to layer on and build from there. Don't worry too much about that. I would get really comfortable in understanding these 3. before you go, any deeper than that. So, and again, I'm just gonna continue plugging numbers, and then my cost of sale, what that number is gonna be my cap and royalty. And now I'm gonna put 30,000 there because that's my cap and royalty, but if I was doing a lot of referral-based business, meaning I know that I'm gonna get referrals from other agents, I would plan for that here. Or if I knew, I have an agent on my team and I have a split with those agents on my team, this is where I would put those splits into that. For right now, I just want you to see the concept of putting the goals in. When we have one-on-ones together and we're at this point where we can have this discussion, then we can go into figuring out like your cost of sale, because like on mine, for example, I used to budget, calculate here. I used to budget, what is that, 36,000? Yeah, make sure I got that right. Yeah, 36,000. I used to budget additional on here as my cost of sale, and what that meant is that I was going to do 12 deals. What was it? 36,000. I'll tell you what that was. At 25% referral fee. What I was budgeting for was the fact that I was going to do 10 referrals. Meaning I was gonna have 10 agents refer business to me, and I was gonna have to pay them a 25% referral fee. I was pre-generating a number already into here, so I used to budget 36,000 for that. So in that case, it would have been 66,000 as my cost of sale, because I knew I was gonna have to pay a referral fee. So far, by just plugging in those numbers, I have on the right-hand side what my annual estimated gross commission income goal is. Based on those numbers, of my total gross commission, I'm gonna round up, 57% of it is gonna be profit, 24% of 25% of it is gonna be cost of sale, and then 19% is expenses. That's really clean. I actually like that. If I can stick to that, that'd be a pretty good profit number for me. I would be very happy with that. Now, the next thing I have to fill in here is what percentage of the business is gonna come from what? Do you guys know, pop quick question? In the MREA book, what they tell you in the economics should be the percentage of listings to buyer. So like if your goal was 20 sales this year, how much of it should be buyers and how much should be listing? Do you guys know what the book says?
That's the,
80 what, 80 listings?
80%.
Okay, we'll stick it on, I guess.
that's the question.
In the MREA book, as a percentage of listings to buyers, if you had to sell 20, if your goal is 20 units, how much of it should be listings and how much of it be buyers? What does the MREA teach?
19 to 1.
19 listings to 1 buyer?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else want to take a while? Rosa's like, no, I can't be that.
Wonderful, right?
It's 50-50. It's 50-50.
Really?
It's 50-50.
I
And
thought they always said, the money was made on the listing side.
yeah, but this is saying that when you look at your overall business, you should be planning for half of it coming from listings, half it coming from buyers. Here's the reality. If I took 10 listings, what are listings going to attract?
Buyers.
So then all of a sudden now I'm going to have buyers. So there's no way that I could really solely be listing only unless I was going to give away all the buyers that came from listings.
You can't get those people to be your buyer on your listing, right? So
Not always.
Then you show them another house.
Not always, but you absolutely could. Here's the reality of it. I don't know anyone that has 100% listing-based business only. You have buyers. You're gonna have
Doreen.
buyers. Huh?
Doreen.
No, she does not. If you look up her business last year, you will see that she's not 100% listings.
She wants it like that.
Well, everybody will love that way, but it's just not reality. Unless you literally gave away every buyer that called you.
I will take them if anyone wants to get
Right.
them.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody would do that. That's where they start building a team. You build a team, not because, hey, I want a piece of your business. I build a team because I no longer ever want to work with a buyer ever again, and you're gonna work every buyer that comes from my database. That's why teams get started. All right, so we're gonna do balanced business 50-50. And then here is gonna be the average commission per unit. So I like to always use 15,000 as the average commission. 15,000 is 3% of a $500,000 deal. Right now, I was just looking yesterday for fun in Naples, non-gated, lowest price single family home built after 2000 was $499. The cheapest one.
Where is that?
Golden Gate Estates, Golden Gate Estates where there's no cell service. That's where it was.
Yeah.
So that, so so when I plan, and then again, in the economic model, if you're, again, if this is confusing you, don't be, that's why I say meet with me, I literally walk you guys through this, I do it with you. I will do the economic model with you, so we're gonna put 15,000, because that's what I know I'm already planning for when I do it. 15,000 there,
Wait, I can't see it.
you can see, it's just 15,000, I don't know why I can't see it, I just put 15,000 in that box,
Yeah.
that's all I did.
Okay.
Now over here, I have a snapshot. I want to profit 150. That's roughly 12,500 a month. It gives me a high level overview of the economic model already right here. So I'm set on this page. Now I'm going to hit continue.
But you didn't do anything for buyers?
I did
What was that one?
50-50. 15,000. I put 15,000 in there as well.
What was the average commission?
15,000 is what I put. I wouldn't put anything in yours right now. You need it.
I'm just trying to get familiar with it.
Yeah,
You know,
I wouldn't put anything I put 15,000. That's what I did. Yeah.
Thank you.
So here is now where we start getting into conversion rates. So I would set each conversion rate manually. And this is basically now saying we have to answer the questions. So this is saying for listings, people have shown interest in the service you offer, but haven't engaged in a two-way conversation. I personally would go with the numbers that are in there. What this is saying is all the leads that come in for you in your world, people you connect with, 5% actually have a two-way conversation with you. So if I had 100 leads coming through an ad or through open houses, 5% of them actually have conversations with me. That's a good safe number to put in there. Contacts that you have held a two-way conversation with and have established a value relationship with. I would also leave that at 5%. Sometimes I've seen upwards of 10% conversion, but 5 is a good number to base it on. These appointment sets and the 75%, I'm gonna explain what they all are here in a second. I would leave them as well because these are actually the new standards based on how Gary Keller does his studies. So here's what this is saying. It's saying that if an appointment has been set with a listing client, that 75% of them will keep that appointment, or you'll have, if you talk to 4 people, 3 of them will set up an appointment with you. The 75%. 75% will actually keep their appointment with you, so you'll actually go on there, and then 75% of them will actually list with you. So that means if you went on 4 appointments, how many listed with you? If you went on 4 appointments and 75% of them listed,
But that
3 of them.
can't all be 75%, because we're gonna, 75%
Well-
are gonna show up.
But here's the reality of it. These are the averages. You don't know your number because you haven't gone on appointments yet to know what your numbers are going to be to modify them. So right now, all of you guys use the standard numbers, and that's your goal to get to that level of numbers. Now, down the road, you're like 20 appointments in and you're converting at 20%. You're probably going to want to modify these numbers because that's going to completely alter how many appointments you need to go on. And then actual contracts that have been taken in place, 75%. So these are the numbers that the company has tracked.
But the people signing an agreement, that still stays at 75?
Yep.
That's an excellent conversion.
That's what I track. That's what I put in there. I plan for that. Here's the thing, you don't know your numbers. You have to, all we're doing is planning right now. We're planning. So walk through, you all see, you're gonna see here what's gonna happen. As you're now in business and doing stuff, if you find out, wait a minute, my conversion's higher or lower, you're gonna adjust yours. Because right now, if you don't have one, what do you use? Use the standard. So we're just gonna use the recommended rates. Just leave it, guys. I wouldn't get too down the rabbit hole here. Because you're just never gonna take action if you keep analyzing what that number is. Here gives us also the same thing. So for how many leads, then to contacts, to appointments that are kept, to agreements that are signed, to people that are under contract. It gives you that funnel that we always talk about, which well, we don't always talk about it because I don't think I've talked to you guys all about it. So I'm going to draw this here because in a little bit we're going to use this diagram to kind of illustrate something. So this is just a summary so far of what we came up with. We came up where we have our conversion goals, we have our annual goal, we have 50% coming from listings, 50% coming from buyer, and then we know what our average commission is going to be, or what we plan for it to be, and we're going to set our goal. What this is going to do now, it's going to tell you up here where your goals. So for example, look at the far right. What does it say my annual goal is for closed units? At that, what number do you see that? Far right. 18. It's already done the math for you. For you to sell the amount of GCI that you need to do at the $500,000 purchase price that we set based on the $15,000 commission, you would need to sell 18 homes. Let's just go all the way to the far left though. So how many leads would I need in my database? I would need 22,418 conversations or people to have the opportunity to conversate with. Actual two-way conversations are 11,120. Our goal is to conversate with 1,120 people this year about real estate. If you break that down, because everybody likes to freak out about this, how many months are we going to work in a 12-month period?
Well,
Are you there?
10.
Minus 2 weeks that I take off.
We take more than that. Realtors take way more than that off. So let's play pretend. Let's plan pretend. So we're gonna divide 1120 by 10 months. That's 112 people a month. Divide that by 4 weeks. That's 28 people a week. Divide that by 5 working days. You have to talk to 6 people a day to hit this number. 6 two-way conversations about real estate, either doing business with you or referring business to you. 6 a day. Then from there, how many appointments do I need to go on? I need to go on 56 appointments this year, buyers and sellers. So obviously we know 56 divided by 2, because it's going to be half buyers, half sellers. That's 28 appointments with each. Let's just keep it 56. Let's look at the whole number right now. 56 appointments, divide that by 10 working months that we're actually going to work. That's 5.6 or 6 appointments a month. I need to be on 5 or 6 qualified appointments per month. What do you guys think I mean by qualified? What do you think I mean by qualified? When we need 5 to 6 qualified appointments per month, what do we mean by that?
We've actually planned it and attended,
Sort of, you're going there, keep going.
led to a signing.
Not yet. Ready, willing, and able is what I mean by qualified.
Oh, okay.
So when you meet with that some person that's gonna be buying in 2 years, but they just wanna go have coffee with you because they know you're gonna pay for it. Qualified appointment. So you can go on it. I'm not saying don't go on it, but I wouldn't count that as an appointment.
Why not?
Well, because they're not ready, willing, and able, and that's not gonna help me. I'm not gonna hit my goal this
But
year.
That's that whole soft touch, I thought.
That's
What next week, the guy falls into a divorce situation.
Hear me out.
So,
Yeah, but that's why I'm going on it. That's why I'm going on it. But I'm not gonna count that towards my number for this year, because if I already know on the surface, this is maybe not even for 2 years out. In my brain, I can't let it convince myself that, hey, yeah, this is gonna turn into something this year, when the reality might be next year. Could it happen? Could it happen? Yes. Could it happen? Yes. Rare. Say that again?
That would go under the 22,000.
No, it still goes in the 1120. The 22,000, if you really look at it, that's, I mean, literally, I can pick a farm area that has 5,000 people and say, okay, I got my 5,000, I'm gonna make an effort to talk to all 5,000 of these. But at the end of the day, what am I really looking to talk to? It's 1,120 people a year.
All the open house people who don't call us back.
Yeah, that's including the fact that only 5% of people are gonna really talk to you. So that's the number, and could it be a little inflated? Maybe. But here's the reality of it. You need to talk, you need to be in front of as many people as possible. I mean, let's just have some fun with the numbers here on that first number, because it looks outrageous on the surface, but let's see what it actually means. 22,418, divide that by 10 working months. That's 2241 a month, divide that by 4 weeks, 560 a week. Let's just say 7 days a week, you're out and about work, you know, so it's like 80, it's like literally trying to find 80 people to add into a database, or to even have an opportunity to talk to them. Like if I went to a networking group, I used to actually do this. I'd be in a networking group and I had 20 people that I presented to that day. Well, that was 20 people I have an opportunity potentially at. Now I got to find the 5% that are actually going to have a conversation with me. That's what that number is. It could be a little high, maybe, but the number that's most important to me and to you, it should be that 1120 and how many contacts you need. Because now from 1,120 contacts, 56 appointments are going to come from that. Now we've gone on 56 appointments, 42 of them are actually going to keep their appointment with you, because not everyone's going to keep their appointment with you. There's going to be a fallout rate. 32 of the 42 are actually going to do an agreement with you to either buy with you or list with you. 24 of those will actually go into contract, and 18 of them will actually close, because there will be fallout. Could your numbers change as the year goes and you might get some better conversions in some areas? Yes, but don't get down to that nitty gritty. Focus on the big number. If you start doing all of that, you're just gonna go down a rabbit hole and never get out of it. I promise you that. I promise you that. So for like the people in the this personality that are like the S's and the C's and those details matter, trust me. Go with the averages. They're good numbers. They're good conversions for you to target for. I mean, the reality is, I mean, I don't know.
Plug and play.
It is plug and play. It's telling you, the system basically asks you what your goal was, and now it tells you how many appointments you need to go on and how many people you need to be in conversation with to hit that goal. Now, what's gonna end up happening for you is
So
that
That's for 150 gross.
that's for you, well, yeah, that's for you to, where is it down here? That's for you to make 266,000 total GCI.
Oh, okay.
Total GCI, which your profit would be 150, assuming that these other two categories were, how it worked out.
You mentioned the CP, you said you wanted to put your GCI to 1.5.
Yeah, well, it'll mean that you need to learn the org chart and build a team. You don't need you don't need a team at that point. The last point I want to make here, and then we'll take a break here, is this. The way now this is going to keep track and know what you're doing goes back to opportunities. Remember the stages and opportunities a couple of weeks ago when we covered that? And remember when we did the appointment, scheduling, kept, it's going to pull that from there. So you don't even really need to go track your numbers somewhere else if you just track your transactions and your opportunities in command.
Feed everything into command.
Feed it all into command, and it's going to create these reports for you and tell you if you're on track or if you're not. Before, I'll be honest with you, we used to do Excel sheets. I think even Michelle still does Excel sheets to track this stuff. I'm like, dude, that's confusing.
Plus, it's a lot of labor.
It's a lot of extra work. Yeah, it's a lot of extra work. So be accurate on that. So like when you go to active, when you go to under contract, command's gonna know all that. And it's gonna tell you, are you on track or are you behind?
Oh, so you grab the.
Yeah, you just grab the card and move the card where it needs to go.
Progression.
Yep, yep.
Like an assembly line.
Exactly. So any questions on that? This is all recorded, so you guys can always come back and revisit it, but here's what I'm gonna challenge all of you to do. Do not go into October, November, December without setting your 2024 goals in the system.
You had mentioned several times, if you have one-on-ones, what, I'm unaware.
My job is to give, I give you, for everybody to hear, I commit to everybody at least 2 one-on-one 30-minute appointments with you a month. Virtually, in person, a lot of times it's gonna be virtually just so it matches our schedules can coordinate efficiently. That's my commitment to everybody. So you all have 2 30-minute sessions a month with me where I help you and consult you in your business. And if you're not anywhere to where you have this stuff even started, this is where I start with you.
I just feel that like, I can schedule with you, but I don't know where, like, I don't know where to start.
Well, that's my job. That's a good question. That's a valid reason not to schedule an appointment with me, yet I'm gonna help you to figure that part out.
That's fair, because I'm like, okay, I want to schedule, but.
Yeah, I get it.
What am I?
I get it. I'm gonna always just start with, tell me what you've been up to. Tell me what you've been doing. What are you working on? And then I'm gonna ask you some pop quick. Have you done this? Have you done that? Okay, you haven't, then let's start there.
And I'm gonna.
I pick on Katie even if she was here, but it's funny because I met with Katie when she first started with us, and I started doing some exercises with her to help her get all this done. And it wasn't until yesterday when I met with her that she was like finding like, man, you already talked to me about this, but I just kind of like discarded it. Now I'm like back to it again. I'm like, yeah, we got to do this. So the best way to schedule those one-on-ones with me is to email me, and my admin Rose will see the email, shoot you some times, and schedule that appointment. If you text me, it may take longer because notice I haven't really picked up my phone other than to use the calculator. Rose is on the computer literally every second looking at stuff for me. So let's go ahead and take a break. Come back 10:52, and then we're gonna hit these 3 things here that you guys mentioned earlier. Pause.
You mentioned.
All right, back for the second half, team. So any questions on what we covered this morning, either with the website or reports? Before I move on. Rose is like, I don't know yet.
I don't know. But
I'm not sure yet.
it's important to set our goals
Uh-huh.
because, It's just a way to just stay focused and.
Yep, well, let's have a benchmark. I mean, the thing is, too many of us are going through, going back, you were here, part of the conversation at the beginning, we were talking about challenges. No, I think you came in after. Well, Jeff, you were here, right? We were talking about like the struggles, right? Well, this is how you get some clarity. You know, there was a team leader one year that asked me, you know, do you have your goals set right? Are you good? Or you feel like, yeah, I'm good. I know what my goal is. I know how many appointments I need. I know how many contacts I need. I just gotta hit that number and I'll be fine. That's where the predictability in your business comes in, is knowing that number and executing.
Well, that math is obvious, but obtaining
Well, let's talk
the opportunity to meet someone.
No,
I
well,
mean, like, I moved down here in October of 2021, so I don't have much contact.
yeah. Well, let's solve that right now. This is the next part of the conversation. I don't think I need anything on the screen anymore. I do, might come back to it. All right, follow along, guys. I need you folks there. So let's start with, who was it that said smart plans? That was you? Please. Okay, all right. I'll get to there. I'm gonna answer that question. I just wanna take a step back first to then get to smart plan. So hopefully that'll answer the question of what smart plan. That's ultimately what I'm hoping to answer in this long-winded thing I'm gonna give you right now. You guys ready?
Tune into the long haul.
Tune into the long haul, take notes. All right. Let's talk about how we communicate with our database first. There are two groups of people in our database. Do you know what their names are?
Mets and not Mets.
Thank you. Mets have not met. Describe the difference for me real fast. Somebody. Your Mets are gonna be the people that if you run into them at Publix, I always use that silly analogy. If I run into them at Publix and we bump carts in the aisle, we say hello to each other, we know who we are. We know each other. We're in two-way relationship. So the simplest way to put that, two-way relationship. On the flip side, this is one way. This is that stalker. This is the one that says, oh, I love you. But I'm like, I never met you. It's kind of a silly example, but we're not in two-way communication. I just happen to have your information. I just haven't had, I mean, that literally almost is, it's like everybody on Facebook and Instagram that I follow are have not met. We're connected. We don't really know each other. Right? That's the right-hand side. We're going to focus on the left-hand side first. How we communicate with them. I'm talking about a communication plan. This is the model that I'm going to teach that comes straight from the MREA book. The model is called the 36 touch. Model is called 36 touch. What it consists of is 26 emails. So roughly 2 a month is the simplest way I like to put it, 2 emails a month. 4 calls a year. If you guys remember on the class that I taught about Smart Plan that had the quarterly call reminder, that's one way of doing it. It's 4, and remember, this is a model, so just follow along with me, because then I'm gonna also kind of talk Joe's point earlier. 4 mailers or promo items in the mail to them. It could technically be like a birthday card. I actually include birthday cards as part of this. It could be. And then 2 events per year, like customer appreciation events. And the funny thing is, if you guys were at the team meeting where I was talking about that at Mega Camp, all the people on stage shared their 1-pager, and I told you guys, Patricia will be sending it all out. There's literally a playbook for all this stuff.
A what?
A playbook.
Where is it?
It's going to be emailed to you. But you don't even need it. Really, what I'm about to tell you right now, kind of. Well, I don't want to complicate things. Where now we're waiting on this and that to take action. This is our marketing plan. This is our marketing plan. 36 touch the people that we know. Now, for the people we don't know, but we have their information and we want to start building a relationship with them, we do a 19 touch with them. In a 19 touch, we're going to see 12 emails go out, 1 a month. You're going to see 4 calls happen. You're going to see 2 mailers instead of 4. And you're going to see 1 event invite instead of 2. We do this with the intent that over a 12-month period, what's gonna happen is they're gonna one day say, hey, I'm ready to buy and sell, you've been sending me stuff. Hey, I'm still not ready to buy and sell, but my friend is, can you help them? Because I've been getting all this stuff from you, keep calling me every 4 weeks or every 3 months. I'm ready to do something. When that happens, so what's the goal again? There's 2 outcomes when we're marketing to this list. What are the 2 outcomes? Just said it.
Transaction.
So a deal from them or a referral.
That's what we want to happen.
That's what we want to happen.
Two goals.
That's the 2 goals. Yeah, well, yeah, it's all about you and your goal, right? Your goal is to serve them, give value to them, email them, give them marketing, give them value with 2 outcomes, a deal or a referral. What happens when a deal or referral comes from that group of people that you never met? What happens?
Convert them to,
They're now a Met.
oh, so the.
So now they just graduated and they get to hear more from you. Go for it.
Okay, so I know who the Mets are, I get it. The open house people who are friendly and willingly give us their information that we can read, and now we have their cell phone and their email. So there have not met, what if, but, okay. And what if they just don't get back to us? We just keep doing it
I leave them in there, we keep doing this.
until they.
Until the 3rd outcome, which they unsubscribe and say, don't ever call me again. Delete. Then we delete. Then we delete. That's the only time I delete somebody.
Take them off the list, they're on that.
Yeah, then I archive the contact and they're no longer a contact in my database. I just archive it.
Okay.
That's it. So that's it. What do you think the 2 outcomes here are?
The second
The same.
deal, second.
They're the same.
Yeah.
They're the same. Same outcome. Here's what's gonna happen. Your job is to build these 2 lists up. So feed your database with names that are gonna fall into one of these 2 buckets. You're gonna communicate with that list based on one of these 2 marketing plans, which are really the same plan. This is just a dumbed down version of this one. They're getting the same stuff, just dumbed down version of it, right? Instead of 2 events is 1 event. And then again, I'm not gonna go too deep here on how the events are done. That's the model that when you follow that model with everybody in your database, you will, at that point, find, generally speaking, about an 8 to 10% return on your database. Every year that I've tracked it, I've been a MAPS coach for a couple of years. Anytime that my coach asks for my number, it's always roughly been right around that 9 to 10% return. Meaning of my total database size, somebody take a calculator out, if I got a 10% on a return on 500 people, how many deals is that? Like, that was the number. 50, that would be the number. And maybe closer to 6, but I think the highest year there was 38 or 39. But that's the model. Now, this answers the question, what smart plan do I use? Well, for the 12 emails, so the people that we don't know, what smart plan could we use to do that for us? There's really 2 options. Either the smart, and really actually there's only 1 option because the other one is an email that you would do manually, so I'll explain what I mean by both. I would go to the monthly nurture neighborhood plan. Monthly neighborhood nurture. Monthly neighborhood nurture.
So we need their address?
You do,
I
or
don't know them.
or I go to truepeoplesearch.com, I look them up and I take the address that's there, or I put the address where I met them.
Like where the.
Or I call them and say, hey, I call them and say, hey, listen, I have a pretty good detailed report that goes out every single month, just hyper local to where you live, gives you information about what locals are saying, school ratings, what's for sale, what's pending, just really keeps you informed of what's happening in your neighborhood. Would you like to receive that email once or twice a month? And if you don't like it and it's not valuable, please unsubscribe. I don't want you to get it if you don't like it. That's one of your calls. Here's the part, that's where people stop. That's where people literally get all excited. And then when I tell them to go do that part, that's how I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, the call. It's literally, that's what's stopping everybody. That's how you would get that information. And then that would be the 1 email that I would send per month. That's it. Now, if I didn't want to do it that route, then what I would do, because on the left-hand side with the people I know, what's the 2 smart plans? Well, one's a smart plan, one is not. It's the same smart plan. The same neighborhood monthly nurture, I'm sending them that. So that's one of the emails. And then the second email is a newsletter that once a month we slow down to put together. Now on my newsletter, I share like properties, I share local events, but when I first started, it was simply just Jeff's stats. All the stats Jeff shares with us, picture of it with my report summary, picture of it with my report summary. And I say picture because I did Lee and Collier County. I would include both in my marketing, in my newsletter. Go ahead.
What is the format you use for your newsletter?
I will show you in a little bit. Remind me to just show you, okay? Can you, when I go back to the computer, I'll show you. That answers the simple question, what's Smart Plan? It's the monthly neighborhood nurture, and then once a month you write a newsletter that you manually send out, and that took care of your email marketing.
Is there any easy way to get people's email addresses, like if you can't read them?
Call them, no, the reality is no, there is no easy way. There's no easy way on any of that, for sure. Just to get contact information. Next Smart Plan. The quarterly call Smart Plan that we talked about in the day that we did Smart Plan class. That reminds you every 4 months or every 3 months to call them. That's another Smart Plan to remind you to message people. So that's the other Smart Plan I would use. I want to answer part of Joe's question right here, part of it, and then I'll revisit it. If I could not do all of it because of money, these two up here are the ones that I would do. I say that because these down here cost money. But here's the reality. Maybe we don't send 4 that first year. Maybe we just don't have the budget for it. But maybe we go on Amazon and buy some cheap birthday cards and at least mail people a birthday card on their birthday. That's worth it. Eventually, what this ultimately is, I get people in my neighborhood that send it to me all the time, realtors that market to that area, just listed, just sold. Hey, we have buyers looking for homes in your area, would you be willing to sell? And they send me 4 pieces of items in the mail every single year. With people that I know, one of them used to be a calendar. I used to order calendars, like the magnet calendars. That was the first thing I sent them. Holiday card was another one.
You meet someone at an open house or wherever, someone you don't know, you get the contact information. Have some of this stuff, but you don't know the birthday, you don't know the whatever. Are you asking those? I don't know, but are you asking those in a call? Are you're making your call? You're so what's your birthday? What's this? You know, like,
That's where sales comes in, though. You're absolutely right. No, maybe it depends on how we're connecting me and that person. That would depend on.
For me, I'm not getting all the information that I do all that because it doesn't seem relevant. Or it seems kind of creepy, I guess.
Well, it's whatever you want to make it. I think you're gonna bottleneck yourself if you don't, because here's the reality of it, like, here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Here's the main thing you need to do, is these two.
But you're saying we should Facebook stalk people to get their details,
I do,
build up that chart, increase
I do.
your numbers.
guys. These are humans. Have conversations with them. I think the best thing to do is, hey.
Well, that's what I was saying. I don't mean it's actually a bad thing. Saying you have that on there, it's a legitimate thing. I think it's great to send birthday cards out, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the people I know in person, I mean, even a lot of them I don't know their
Yeah.
birthdays, right? So you have to ask. But somebody I don't know.
I find them on Facebook, because honestly, I have so many people who get birthday texts from me that I've never personally asked them for their birthday. I do 2 things. Either I took it from Facebook one way, the other way is I took it from truepeoplesearch.com, which doesn't give me an actual date, but I love it because I'll text them on December 1st, January 1st, whatever the first or second day of the month is. I try to always keep it on a weekday. And what'll happen is they'll be like, thank you, a little early, it's not until the 14th, but thank you. No one's ever gonna say, screw you, you text me early for my birthday. How did you?
And I wasn't questioning like it's a bad thing.
I know.
I wouldn't mind having that information, but I would really how that sounds.
That's how, well, let me give you another one. People that, so at open houses, one of the things that I would do is when there's nobody coming in, I'd sit there and I was like, all right, there's Rosa. I gotta find her on Facebook. Am I right? Let me get her birthday. Let me find out if she has a house. CallYourAppraiser.com. Nope. Lipa.com. Nope. And usually I can narrow it down because they say where they live. Most people put where they live. And if I don't find it, no big deal. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. But you know how many times I found people's homes just by looking them up on Call Your Appraiser or Lipa? Oh, perfect. Boom. Put their address in. One lady, I remember one year, one of my reminders was to mail her a market report on her anniversary. I didn't sell her the house. She bought the house before I was even a real estate agent. But my system reminded me to send her something in the mail, and I sent her an RPR report that's available to us through Neighbor. And literally, I had no idea she was looking to sell. We didn't work together anymore. I already had left Best Buy, but I sold her property right before Hurricane Irma. Right before Hurricane Irma, and it was only because I sent her that report.
You just randomly sent one of your men a report.
Because it was their anniversary of their year. One of the things I would send is on their, I would put their home anniversary whenever I found it. I would put the date they bought that house, because you can see that on the records.
Look that up.
And I would have it remind me when they bought the house so that I could celebrate when they bought it. And they didn't buy it with me.
So you had nothing to do with.
I had nothing to do with that home sale, but guess who sold it?
So,
Not their realtor that helped them buy it.
so with these touches that we're speaking of, but let's consider if you're interacting with Facebook, I don't do that much, but obviously you are. I realize the importance to do so.
Okay.
But let's say that you're on there and it says, hey, you know, John Smith's birthday, he's in Seattle, is today. Well, do you also do it there on Facebook? Hey, John Smith,
I
man, happy
do.
birthday.
Yeah, that's, so going back to smart plans.
But do you count that in this roster of activities?
No, I'm not worried. It's just extra touches.
Okay,
It's extra touches, but here, you just brought up a good point. We just discussed 2 additional smart plans. We talked about the birthday smart plan, and we just talked about the home anniversary smart plan. So what smart plan should I be using? Home anniversary, birthday, quarterly call, monthly nurture. And then once a month, you put together a newsletter that you manually send out to everybody. You do that, you're gonna do way more than most agents do, and listen, this will come later. Honestly, I wouldn't worry about setting up events right now. For none of you, I would worry about that right now.
so Halloween, 4th of July,
What about it?
events,
Good.
and you invite your
You
whole.
could, but here's the point. Let me go answer Joe's question now. I don't know. Let me ask you guys this. Who are you guys putting, like, where are you putting money right now? I'm curious. Are you guys planning?
Publix and Target.
You are? Oh, no, you're buying a Publix and Target.
I'm trying to survive.
Joe, unmute.
Wait, you said there's money involved?
Alright, let's get, Joe, are you still there or no?
Yes, I'm here.
Alright, so let's talk about your topic for a second, investing into your business. So do you want to elaborate on that question a little bit further, or do you want me to just kind of go with what I think?
Well, you know, it's difficult. I know you talked about Bold $800, you know, and then I had Market Leader. They were after me, and I was sending out a newsletter through Market Leader, but I really never saw any result on that.
No,
So-
alright, I think I got you. Hear me when I say this. When you
Yep.
get a marketing call, and you obviously know it's a marketing call, hang up the phone. Hang up the phone.
All right.
That's the first thing. Where would I invest money? So listen, guys, I wasn't rich. I'm not rich. But my first year, I did invest into the business. You gotta be strategic where you're gonna invest. Here's where I didn't invest. I didn't invest into somebody to send marketing out for me. I didn't invest in somebody to send leads to me. For like Zillow leads, I didn't, or Redfin or any crap website that's out there. I didn't invest into any of that. I didn't even do ads. Where I spent my money were in a couple of different buckets. I spent it on education. I'm gonna focus on that for a second here because he brought it up with Bold. I took my first Bold in March of 2017. I joined KW in January of 2017. I went full-time in real estate in January of 2017. I took Ignite in February, that was great, and I paid for Bold. Guess what? I got my reimbursement back because I did 4 transactions in my first 4 months. I didn't pay for Bold, and I haven't paid for Bold ever since. I paid for it up front, but you get what I'm saying. I went to family reunion February 2018. Went to Mega Camp 2018, and I've gone ever since, twice a year. That's money into my education. That's where I decided to put my education dollars into. It's been to KW regional, national events, and Bold. That's where I never really, most of the other stuff is free. Neighbor does something, it's usually free. NARP does something, is usually free. Any organization does something, is usually free. A speaker comes into the class, that's free. Come to the class. So that's where I spend my money education wise. The other areas that I would spend the money You mentioned, I think somebody said marketing earlier, or maybe you might have used the word marketing. If I had the features available today that Command has when I started, I would have probably spent $25 a week easily on ads, just promotes properties or something, because it's really,
You did
I would.
If you had.
If I had Command back then, and now knowing what I can do with Command, back then I would have probably budgeted at least $25, $30 a week toward ads to get some additional exposure.
For listings or for something?
To promote me, to promote another listing, to get people to go on my website, go to me, see me.
Well,
Because it's because it's how cheap it is to brand
those
yourself.
web page ads or?
Facebook ads. So I would do cheap Facebook ads. And I'll show you something here in a moment. Cheap Facebook ads, I mean, and that's cheap, 25, no, usually that's all you need. Coffee meetings. Shit, man, I take coffee, sorry. Shit. I'll take 4, 5, 6 people a week to coffee if I could.
Ooh, I accept.
People in my database. If I need to build relationships with. Your people are there to get you business. I know, it sucks.
One to a best friend for realtors.
You know what else I would do? I would go, going back to events a little bit, I did this actually when I moved to my new house, a couple years ago. I used to go to a Walmart actually and buy a thing of rack of chicken, rice, beans, and I cook it myself, and it's less than $100, and I invite 5 to 6 people over to my house.
Hang out.
To hang out. People that I need, I wasn't inviting my best friend, yeah, you stay home. My best friend and I ain't really, my best friend, I'm thinking one person right now. I think I shared with you guys that story that he doesn't even use me as his realtor, we decided to keep it separate. I'm okay with that, I'm inviting people that are in my database, I'm inviting past clients. The first people that came into my house were a Russian family that I've been in a relationship with for like 4 years now. Multiple business deals they've done with me, they were the first ones to come out, they were the first, when I got my boat, they were the first ones to go on my boat with me. Hey,
You got a vote?
I would never take you.
You
So
cannot.
that's the
go
funny
on
thing about it. That's,
Going on this boat.
here's the funny thing about it.
Got a vote.
I would take it because here's the thing. Back then,
You open up.
when realtors would ask me, "Oh, can we go out?" I'm like, "No, why? I want to go out with people that I need to strengthen relationships with." I'm sorry, but you're not sending me
We
business
have
here.
to ground words.
You're not coming. You're not coming. I'll see you at the dock.
You said brother in the hallway, I thought we were good. We shared.
You're not coming.
Tips and.
So lunches. Here's the reality, I'm not spending on anything. Eventually, when I had my first deal, then I got an office. So then eventually I put money aside to get an office because I was very inefficient coming in with my bag every day and oh crap, I forgot this at home. Now I can't do what I came here to do. It's annoying. Then eventually I got an office. Outside of that, guys, I kept everything else very slim. I'm pretty cheap in most of the things, but in these areas this is where I spent the money. Because here's the thing, people are especially with these two here, lunches, coffee, interacting with people. I'd rather spend, if I'm gonna spend $500, I'd rather put on a small event that I get to see close people that I'm in strengthen relationships with than go on Zillow or even Facebook to do an ad. If I had $500 to spend, would I do it on Facebook ads or would I spend it on some people in my database? I would always spend it on people in my database. Now, as far as lead sources go, kind of getting to the point because that's kind of where I want to take all this. I went towards the free or inexpensive lead sources when I started. So here's an example, open houses. I did open houses as one of my top lead sources when I first started. For open house, all I would spend are the printing costs for the flyers. That's it. I didn't print 50 flyers, I printed 10. Barely got 10 people coming at a time. And I put my business card in there and that's it. The first open house I did, I bought cookies and waters and all that, and I ended up having to eat those myself that week with my daughter. Nobody gives a crap about that. Maybe in a luxury broker open house where you're trying to get people to celebrate, maybe. But the condo for $200,000 in North Naples at that time, no, they didn't need cookies and water.
Just a bag of Doritos.
Not even. No, nothing. Me, you got me, and my personality. You got to interact with me and get information about the local market. That was free. My open house signs, I just bought cheap, regular, standard red ones. I didn't go create branded ones. I eventually did once I had money. I bought the cheap standard red ones. And I would ask, hey, do you have any cheap standard open house signs that I can use that are just laying around? I would ask some of my peers. That's a free source. What else did I do that first year? That first year, I called for sale by owners. That's free as well, because I just looked up their number on whatever website they listed the property. I did list 2 for sale by owners my first year. Everybody else came from my database. People that I already was in relationships with. 8 of my first 12 deals in that first year came from my past Best Buy employees that used to work with me. I'm surprised that they hated me. I really did. I was like, wow, I guess I wasn't the horrible manager. 8 of them bought a house with me. It is pretty hilarious.
They're not still
So,
at Best Buy.
but here's,
They're not still at Best Buy, are they?
some of them are. Yeah, Best Buy is not a bad place. I mean, some of them still are. Say it again? Who is? David? Yeah. I'm not there anymore. I can't say giving. Let's just say I was gonna play. Let's you guys are gonna send me down a rabbit hole right now. Here's the point, Joe, here's the point, hear me when I say this, do not go out there spending money outside of these buckets. I mean, are there some things I'm probably missing? Yeah, there's probably some stuff I'm missing, but in general, any of those online sites, hey, pay me X amount and I'll do ads for you, or pay me X amount and we'll promise you 4 leads. I wouldn't do any of that. I would practice my scripts, I would learn how to talk to people, and I would do that with the people that I already know, while along the way doing some free, cheap, inexpensive lead sources and getting that information. If I live in a neighborhood where I have easy access and I have permission to get people's info, like a mailing list, that's free. I will drop them in my database and now I'm gonna start marketing to them. So this, go ahead.
Let's say you join the gym next door.
Okay.
And then you're meeting people there as an opportunity. Begs the question, can you write up the membership dues? As lead source revenue,
Can I do what though?
can you write that off on your taxes? Going.
Your membership dues?
Yeah.
That's a good accountant question.
That's a good accounting question, and I'm sure there's an accountant that can figure that part out, yeah.
See how my brain was working on.
Yeah,
that?
but
Because I don't have any contacts, I gotta meet. new
So let's
people.
get this conversation started where I wanted to take this. Let me ask you guys a question. Does this make sense now?
Yeah.
This is your marketing plan.
Yeah.
Now we talk about lead sources. This is all lead sources are where are we gonna meet people? That's all it is. It's at the top of the funnel. In the funnel here, so we're building a database. We're communicating with it. My spelling, don't judge me. How we're communicating, right there. We're gonna service everything that comes from it, and then they're gonna have deals that come out. That's simple. You're building a database of names, phone numbers, emails, addresses, etc. You're gonna communicate through it with either a 36 or a 19 touch. You're gonna service every opportunity that comes your way. Hey, no, I don't serve the Tampa market, but I'll send you to a referral partner of mine in Tampa. And then deals are gonna come together from that. Now the question is, how do we meet people? How do we meet Mets and have not Mets? The way I did it was open house, my sphere, and FSBO's expireds. Now you get to decide, how are you gonna do it? How are you gonna meet people? Is it gonna be, maybe it is an open house for you, but then maybe it should always be sphere, but maybe you don't wanna do FSBOs, maybe you wanna do the gym, to your point. Maybe you wanna lead generate at the dog park. Maybe you wanna be a YouTube star. You get to decide the lead source, but the lead source is nothing more than a vehicle to get people's information. That's the problem. I think people think of lead sources of like, hey, I'm gonna get a deal here. You will, but it's not because you went to these events or went to this open house. It's because you went there to meet people. You put them in a marketing strategy that you communicated with them consistently with, and then you serviced whatever came out of it. Questions?
I'd like to add to that.
Please.
I feel your pain when you say that, your sphere is probably not the best, you don't know anyone
Yeah.
in town or whatever. And I think that for me, right now, at this stage I'm at, if with through open houses, that's how I've grown my, met and have not met. And, so I just think that we have to master open houses, like get to master it to a point
Okay.
where you are there with a purpose. We can't forget that we are also doing an open house for another agent, and that's their livelihood. So that's why we have to master what we're doing, so we can take it up to a level where we can build trust with our peers and our agents that have been doing this for so long. If we just go there and try to wing it, I don't think it's the right way. So I think, Carol on the 29th, she has an open house class. It's important that we all take it. So we can continue mastering our open houses and
I agree.
adding value. And that way, we will have agents literally contact us directly and say, hey, can you post this open house for me? And then you have to make sure that you have all in your hands at that moment. Before I go into an open house, I study the property, I study the neighborhood, I drive by, I study where I'm gonna place my signs, because I don't have 50 signs to place. I don't even have 10 signs to place, so I study strategically where I'm gonna place my sign. And I don't do any advertising, because guess what? From what I've found out through the feedback that I get from the people that walk in, they walk in because that house has been placed on the MLS and all the other websites,
They're seeing it.
and that's how they get there, or through the signs.
Yeah.
Or they're just nosy neighbors.
And those nosy neighbors are your potential future sellers. So I want to echo, Joe, I'm gonna come back to you. Give me a second here. You said the word master. Master your lead source. Open houses are designed, when you do it properly, to get sellers, not to get buyers. But we're focused only on buyers, because that's the easiest thing that just walks into the store. Open houses should be for you to get sellers that are in the neighborhood. Or not in the neighborhood, maybe they want to move in that neighborhood and they're looking for the right property. Because here's the thing, guys, no one is ever excited about selling their house. They're excited about buying a house. Buyers are sellers in some cases. Like sometimes I think we make the assumption that, oh, a buyer came in. Okay, are we selling their property too? Or are we gonna put it up for rent? Make the assumption they own a home.
What's behind them needs attention.
That needs attention too.
Yeah.
Absolutely needs attention. So back to the key word that was said here, thank you, master. When I was in the team meeting the other day, when we were talking about mega camp and what I got out of it, it's like, guys, these people have just mastered one or two things and that's it. They've mastered the one or two things that they use to meet people, and they've already mastered their communication plan. I put social media up here for a second because I just started thinking about people that tell me like social media or YouTube, and going back to the example of Ken Pozak. Joe, I'm not gonna forget you, I'll come back to you in a second. I think of Ken Pozak, like Ken started YouTube as a place to funnel names. People see his videos, maybe they're not ready today, maybe something happened, they're not moving to Orlando anymore. Now all of a sudden, okay, 3 months later, and now I really want to move to Orlando. Let me go back to watching YouTube videos again. Oh my God, this guy Ken, he's got these cool videos about the Orlando area. Now I'm ready to do something. I'm going to give my information to the person who's been educating me, which just so happened to be Ken in this example. And then once Ken has my information, this is all he's doing with it. So when I think people say, oh, I'm going to do social media, but what do you mean by that? Like, if you're just going to post videos on social media, like the question is, I'm going to post funny things, and I'm going to post comments to people that engage with me. I'm like, that's all beautiful. But the key thing is, how are you getting them into your database? How are you getting them from social media as just a friend on social media that's maybe one way? How are we going to get their information so we can systematically communicate with them and market to them? Figured that part out, and now all of a sudden lead generation is fun because you just know that you're using this as a method to meet people. Joe,
Yeah.
you were gonna say
Yeah,
something.
I think you kind of answered it a little bit. My question was, if you have their Mets and not meant.
Yeah,
On the left of that, if you had an imaginary column saying command, would that be starting with the widgets, like enter them as your contact and then putting them onto the
Smart
drip
plan.
campaign, a smart plan, and then
Well,
I
yes,
guess
so.
that's the meshing the command with that column there.
Yeah, but here, I wanna make sure you don't miss this. This is a smart plan. That email that goes out, let's just focus on this side for a second. That's the monthly neighborhood nurture. You can either automatically send it out once a month or twice a month. You get to pick. Double down, do it twice. Who cares? Do the twice a month one. They can unsubscribe if they don't like it. For starters, right?
Yeah.
When you meet somebody, social media, open house, etc., your goal is to get their name, their phone number, and their email. And great if you can get an address, great if you can get a birthday, great if you can get when they bought their house. Is that all gonna come in the first contact? Never. Never. It comes over a period of time.
Yeah.
It comes over a period of time. So I'll give you an example. There was a time during COVID when it started that I was not part of the leadership yet. I was still selling homes primarily. And, you know, my daughter was obviously homeschooled, so like, and, you know, I was in my group, like, well, not in my group, I was in a funk because, you know, I'm stuck at home. I thought COVID was gonna be done in a week and we'd all go back to the office, and that never happened. I think we went like 9 months out of the office. This office wasn't even open that whole time. The point is this, when I was feeling like I was running out of people to call of my sphere of influence, because that was a big source for me and most of my business was coming from Sphere, I had to figure out, okay, how do I add more, how to add more people? I had a lot of one-way comments, relationships, if you will. They were on Facebook. They were just people that we were connected there, but that was kind of the end of it. So then I went through a period where I was adding 10 to 20 people a day from social media. So literally I would sit at my desk and I would just go A through Z. I don't even think I ever made it to Z because I never had the time to make it through Z. And I would look at this, I'm like, is this person in my database, yes or no? How do I know this person? Am I gonna engage with this person? And there were some that were like, you know, this is a complete weirdo, I don't want them. So I actually unfriended them at that point. But then the ones that I did want to build a relationship with and they weren't in my database, I added them as a contact. But the point is I had to add 10 or 20 new a day. And I simply added them and I leveraged the smart plan that I created to simply help me remind myself to engage with them. So let me give you an example. I think I still have it in there. Right there. Yep, that's the one. Let me show you this. I literally just manually created this one when COVID hit to help me. You'll get the gist of it. I'm not gonna. Oh no, that's all it was. Just repeat. So this is what it was. It was 3 touches over 16 days. I think they were longer before. I think I might have deleted some just to kind of leave it here as an example. Did I notice this as step 1? Call the person. Did I call every single one as the first step? No. Some of them are like, dude, I really haven't talked to you in a long time, so I just messaged them. So I added you in command. A lot of them I didn't have a phone number or an email yet because they weren't available on social media. They didn't have it public. So I would just add it. And then I had a girl, I remember Ariana, that she used to be a Best Buy employee of mine. I had messaged her in 2018. I had messaged her because I was being taught to connect with people, call them, message them, but I never added her to my database. So it's funny because then when COVID hit, I messaged her to re-engage because her name is Ariana with an F. But it was because with Facebook, it's my first name. So Ariana, she was at the top. So I go to I added her to the database. I only had a name. I didn't have phone number, nothing yet. And I go to send her message. And I added the smart plan, which is a reminder for every 8 days. I think eventually it went to 7 days, but it was just to touch them on Facebook. Every 7 to 8 days, I was reminded everybody that I was adding to go engage with them on Facebook. Why did I do that? Because there's a lot more, it's a lot easier to engage with a stranger on Facebook that you don't really have a good connection with yet. So I messaged her. And what's funny is that Facebook does a great job of keeping record of past messages. Well, I had wrote her in 2017 going into 2018. That's what it was. But I never added her to command. So I just messaged her, hey, how have you been? I see it seems like you're doing well. You know, how's Best Buy going for you? Because I don't know if she did or didn't leave Best Buy. She said, oh, no, I've actually left Best Buy. I'm a nurse now, yada, yada, yada. We small chit-chatted. That was it. Chit-chatted, maybe 2 or 3 messages. Put her in my command, smart plan. Next week, reminder, go engage with her. I'm like, all right. So I went to Facebook. She had made a post, liked it, commented on the post. 7 to 8 days later, same thing, reminded me to go talk to her. New post, like, commented on the post. Eventually, I'm like, all right, this is the 3rd one now. I gotta like send something of a message. Like, what can I message her? And I'm like, what excuse do I have? So I was at the time actually looking for an admin. So I was like, hey, listen, I'm actually looking for an admin. I wonder if you can help me. If you know anybody that's looking for a job. She's like, oh, I wish I was right now. I actually want to get out of medical, but I can't. I understand. Well, keep me in mind. Following week, hey, by chance, did you run anybody at work looking for a career change? No, I didn't. I can literally show you guys these messages. Then she writes me, oh, by the way, do you know a realtor that can help me in Cape Coral buy a house? She assumed because I'm KW Naples and was living in Naples, her perception is I was living in Naples, that I don't serve Cape Coral. I'm like, well, no, actually, I have 3 houses at the time I did. I had 3 houses under contract in Cape Coral right now. I actually live over in the Fort Myers area. I can be the agent for you. Yeah, we bought is a holiday builder, the Cape Coral, one of the holiday home or something. One of those Cape Coral builders. And we got under contract within like 3 months. We had her on the contract on a new construction home. That never would have happened if I never just sat there and said, all right, I need to build my database up. Let me add her. Let me put a plan together to go back and systematically remind me to go touch and engage with that person. Because there was no way that I was going to add 10 to 20 people a day and remember to go engage with them. I systematically did that through command. I let smart plan remind me to go do it, did the activity, and then that came from it.
So just to recap what you said.
Yeah.
Get on Facebook, someone says they sent you an invite or a referral or whatever, you accept, you find out something about them, then you try and get that information about them, put it in your database, set your reminder, then a week later you say Facebook message them, hey, you a cool cat or something like that.
Yeah.
And you just work it from there.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That was my strategy in that small season of my life in real estate.
But it did generate resource.
It did. And it probably could have generated more if that was my ongoing thing.
But you would really grab someone from somewhere, that many details, go over and add as much details as you can to contacts, set the reminder, and then go back.
And just go back.
That's the question. When you say set the reminder, you set a reminder to
Smart plan.
a daily activity or to call
Smart.
Mary Ann, whatever.
It was a smart plan reminder. It's right there. It literally was a task reminder. It just reminded me, hey, go engage with this person. I literally just put text on Facebook touch.
Okay.
It was just a reminder to go engage with that individual. That's
But
all
you're
it was.
capturing that person's name on that reminder, so.
Yeah, because it's the smart plan's linked to them.
Reminders, just
Yeah, different
for that
names.
day.
Yep. Yeah, the smart plans were linked to the individual who I connected a smart plan to. Yeah, that's a good question. Just for clarity, guys, when you have a smart plan that you put on somebody's name, when you get that reminder, it shows their name. So that you know who it is that you need to go do that with for that day. What other questions about this? I'll have time, I got time still to hit this last piece, but questions about this, I know this was a lot, but I wanted to really take the time to draw this out.
So text count as calls, emails, they're not on the list.
It's not on the list, in today's world, and it would actually fall here. Here's the challenge, and challenge / going back to the goal, right, the outcome. If I'm leveraging text messages, one of those 4 touches, the intent to get on the phone, so for example, when I text somebody or call, we're having 4 conversations. I think you guys know what it is, but if not, it's family, occupation, recreation, dreams. You know, how's the family doing? How's work going? Hey, what are you guys doing for fun? Hey, any big holiday plans you guys have or anything big for next year? Dreams. These are just kind of bullet points of what I could talk to them about. That's realistically what's happening on the call. When I'm having this call with them, most people, and I don't have a percentage of it, but anyways, most people make up stats. So I'm gonna say 90% of the people, when you talk to them, they'll ask you, and you're asking these type of questions, they're gonna at the end say to you, what? They're gonna ask you how you're doing. How's your family? Hey, great, just had a baby. Gianna's 10 years old now. You know, working with a couple buyers here in the Naples area, you know, so business is going pretty well. By the way, have you guys considered looking at how much equity you guys have in your home right now with the market, the way it's gone up? I know you guys bought your home a few years back. Thought maybe about buying an investment property? I don't know. Point is, that they're gonna get.
Asking about the family, you just jumped to that, because if you
No.
jump to that.
No, that's the whole point. No, I think you might have missed this part. You're talking to them about this. They're gonna naturally ask you what?
How your family is.
Yes. Well, they're gonna ask you how you're doing. If I'm talking to them about occupation, how it's going their job, they're gonna naturally ask you that back. Are there times that you call somebody, have a forward conversation, and it doesn't lead to having a business conversation? Yeah, plenty of times. But the point is this, it's the idea behind this, not every single call might turn into a business call. The idea behind these touches is this: they can't go a 12-month period without hearing from you every couple of days, every couple of weeks, if that. It's top of mind. You're building mind share here. The Calusa house that I saw you guys that I just listed there, I haven't talked to that guy in 4 years. Mind share kicked in because he gets these newsletters every single month. That's why. So yeah, sometimes it's not gonna be a business conversation, but everything they did say to me here, I'm gonna put into the database, and then I'm gonna probably send them a handwritten note card. Hey, it was so nice to talk to you. I'm so glad to hear the kids are good, work's good. I appreciate you. Can't wait to catch back up again.
That's the part I struggle with. I am really good at talking to people. I don't mind. I love talking with their family and whatever, but I just have a hard time being like, stand up.
Well,
I have a hard time not making that sound very
So-
funny.
okay, I'm gonna help with that. Go ahead.
Say that for me, I think that the hardest part is, since I don't have Twilio, it really makes this nearly impossible.
This part you mean, the texting part, because that's the only part,
And
this is the only part Twilio is needed for here.
only for the texting.
Twilio is only needed for texting.
But you could still text the person directly on your.
You could, but text them.
No, I think it's so hard for me to get this part going. I don't know.
No, team, follow me.
Not just Twilio, it's like, and what I'm saying is like, just just take the time to sit down and work on like creating my smart plans and all.
There's nothing to create.
Well, there is. It takes a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you guys are not hearing me, if I'm saying what I'm saying right now, you're still challenging it, you're not hearing me then.
No, I think time to set up.
Well, yeah, 2 minutes.
Well, you're
Straight
No, yes, to your point, you made a good point.
Have all of the groundwork takes time.
You made a good point. Here's the point, you just made the good point. Here's the point that's made. On one coin, we're trying to do it all at one time, and the other side, it's like, no, it's actually over days. Remember back earlier when we said we needed to have 1,140 contacts, and how many was it per day? 5 to 6. That's where it starts. Hey, and that's a low number. You really need to go higher. 20 people, how do I update 20 people today? How do I make sure that 20 people I have an address for? How do I make sure 20 people, if I don't have an address for and don't call them and ask for it, that I at least put some random neighborhood that I know I think they live by, or I'll use True People Search to find it out, or I'm gonna just pick up the phone and call them and ask them, hey, I have an amazing neighborhood report that I'd love to send you monthly. Can I put you on that email list? Call them and do that, but it's just 20 people a day. What will happen is that after 3 months, all of a sudden now everybody's on it.
I've been doing, this is like my only thing that I've been really super good with. I don't get 20 a day, but I do get like. It takes a long time. I don't know, I'm slow.
No. Well, I know what you're saying. Here's the thing, 20 a day is possible if you're not making calls. If you're literally just grabbing data or putting them on something, it doesn't, because here's what I mean by that. Here's what I mean by that. I don't want to do it with these people, specific people, but right now I'm looking at 10 people at a time. I can sit there and how long does it take me to hit edit? Actually, not even edit. How long does it take me to hit add a neighborhood? You know, I do or don't know where they live, or I do or don't know where I met them, or I'll do this. I'm doing it live with you right now. This is gonna be a more remembered number, so I'm just gonna hit copy and let's see if I find this person.
Is that their cell phone number?
I don't know, it's whatever I have, or Luz Marina Gonzalez, there she is, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. I'm gonna go ahead and go back here, I'm gonna hit, find on map. I'm gonna pop that in, oh, didn't copy that. And it's easier for me working on two screens. I always do it on two screens just to make life a little bit easier. There it is. It is right there. I'm gonna zoom in on that. Gotcha. I'm gonna pick that. I'm gonna hit save. And make sure she's not activated. All right, neighborhood's there, and then I'm gonna go hit add smart plan. Now I'm not gonna do it for her because this is an agent. I don't want receiving this really. I'm gonna go find my monthly smart plan. It's gonna ask me when do I want to start it, now or a future date. Click now, boom, confirm, and I just added one person, and it took me how long to do that? And all I'm asking you guys to do is do that 10 to 20 times a day.
That's making it make sense. A lot of times when you don't know, you think you have to make phone calls, it's gonna be awkward, how do you evaluate them for information, like you're a hostile witness or something?
Yeah, and
It doesn't matter if it actually is like that.
it's in her head, yeah. Guys, I'm pretty sure I probably had the same struggle, but eventually I stopped caring and started realizing that at the end of the day, I just want to build up my email list and start marketing to it as quick as possible. If, let's say, and here's the thing, if you have people in your database, hopefully you know where you met them. If you don't, listen, I don't really care. I'm gonna go this, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna zoom in and it's gonna come to Naples and I'm just gonna be, all right, I'm gonna go to Naples Park. I'm gonna go right where I live and I'm just gonna click a couple of random neighborhoods and that's it. I really don't care right now.
Well, I think
Especially for somebody that I don't know that's on this category. Over time, as this happens and I get more information about them, I'll custom tune it. Or hey, pick up the phone and ask me.
The thing that happened with me for mindset was I realized if you really are that hell bent on not hearing from me, that you're like, then I was like, oh, good, so now I know, and then I can move on. And then I was like, if you don't actually care, it's better to know so you're not wasting your time. If they truly don't want to hear, if they're aggressively avoiding or not.
Everybody that unsubscribes in my database, and it's funny because the people that are unsubscribing today are usually realtors that I market to. My sphere, I can't remember the last time I saw an alert that one of them unsubscribed.
You do get an alert as well, unsubscribe.
Yeah, when people unsubscribe, you'll get an alert, that little bell. Anytime there's an alert period for you, you need to check it. Most of you probably have 100 alerts that you haven't looked at.
I mean, I wouldn't say 100, but I would say.
92,
I would say 91.
91, close enough. So,
But it is, back in the week, 92.
here's my final kind of closing this part up. 10 to 20 people a day you could do this with. And in 3 months, you're gonna have to hit everybody in your database. And then the next 3 months, when you have to do it again, now we are one step closer. Hey, maybe by that point we have the emails. Now the next touch, maybe we wanna send them an app invite. So which actually, you said something earlier, what could the phone calls be? Jesus, they could be so many things. They could be a new year, happy new year, and what are your investment goals this year? So I can be an alert on the lookout for properties for you. It could be a holiday call at the beginning of the year. And it's a board conversation. It could be 4th of July. I mean, guys, you can find every excuse in the world. It could be, hey, listen, I have a buyer need. Sometimes when I had nothing to talk to them about, I would be like, and we've kind of maybe already been engaging on Facebook and stuff like that. But hey, listen, this is a business call. I was wondering if you can help me. I got a family that I'm working with right now. We're looking for a property in North Cape Coral. My challenge right now is, and it wouldn't be real today, but my challenge right now is they're looking for new construction, but they want city water in North Cape Coral, and not a lot of parts have them. By chance, who do you know Cape Coral looking to buy or sell a home? Or in this case, sell a home? I'm asking for a referral. No, I can't really think of anybody, Jordas. I appreciate you guys taking time to listen to me and think about it. What about you guys? Are you guys thinking of making a move anytime soon or have any investment goals? Every now and then I do come across some investment properties. Would you guys be interested in any of those? No? Okay, good. Hey, listen, I'll see you at softball tomorrow with our kids.
Well, actually, it goes back to a question, I mean, how you do the call, whatever. You said that, you get off the call with them, all right, I'll see you tomorrow on softball. If you're seeing somebody like that regularly, are you still also calling them to do the same calls, or would you use that in-person conversation?
I would use that if I'm consistently seeing them in person, yeah, sometimes there's times I'll come across somebody's name. Remember that I use the DTD2 process, so if the alphabet came up and it was whatever person from softball, look, I just saw them last night, I'm gonna hit this and I put my notes in of where we're at though in the relationship. The key is, I like to kind of look at putting notes in command in the contact. I look at it as kind of like moving the football down the field. What happens after 4? Got first down, right? 4, like, I just kind of look at it that way to you, touchdown.
I just felt like it's a more valuable interaction would be the in-person part of it.
Oh, yeah,
It always feels a lot more natural than.
There'll be a time even that, I remember there was I think I deleted it because it just came more confusing for marketing purposes, but there was a time that the people that I was like regularly seeing, I had like a top 100 list or tag that I created of people that I'm like, these are the ones that I gotta love on extra. So if I was gonna go spend money on lunches and coffee, it had to be somebody on that list. Because those are the people that are like my biggest raving fans.
That was my next question, like, who do you choose for your lunches?
Raving fans, the ones that speak so highly of you. I mean, I have people that till this day, I had one that I sold in 2018, sold her condo up by your house, and you know what? I haven't had enough referral opportunity yet, but man, every time I see her, talk to her, it's like, Jordas, you're my guy. Like, I mean, you know, whether I've had a referral or not come, I still did 2 deals with her. She's a raving fan for me. It'll come together. It'll come together. I never sat her I never stared at her name in the system and think, oh man, no, it's been 3 years. You haven't sent somebody. There's no way that you haven't ran across somebody in 3 years. Like, no, she still speaks very highly of me. I'm gonna have her on my list of top 100. That Russian family I told you about, they're definitely that, probably the top 5 for me. I've done like 6 deals with them over the last 3 years. So
when you're talking lunch, are you talking McDonald's, Panera, or Capitol Grill?
no, I'm probably somewhere in between. Maybe Applebee's or Chili's.
No, I'm serious.
No,
McDonald's and Panera.
The only time I took somebody to a fast food restaurant is because they chose it and they wanted to. We were out doing showing, so they paid. Hey, let's just go do fast food, and so it'd be done. I'm like, all right, I'll pay.
I have a 30-second story.
Go for it.
Before we moved to Michigan, our realtor, a friend of ours, just kind of met literally randomly, like where we talked about, right? You meet someone, you have to be friends. And my wife was feeling kind of down and didn't want to go out or do whatever, not whatever. She posted something, and our real estate agent Jordashed her some food. And
Awesome.
it was the most awesome thing ever. I mean,
That is
you don't
awesome.
Talk about
That was
a realtor for life. Yeah, I mean, like, it was the coolest thing.
You know, that's, you bring up a good point. So there's a company called AM Cards that I used to use. I stopped using them, but I'm kind of thinking of going back to it. And at the time, I would do kind of like that. Like if somebody's posted a picture of their newborn, or hey, we just got married, and they did the proposal picture, I would paste that picture into AM Cards and send a nice message, and AM Card would just send it out for me. It's like $3 a card or something like that. So eventually I stopped doing it. I didn't do it for everything. It had to be special moments where, and how many times I'll tell you that they take a picture, oh my God, thank you so much for this card. Some of them would even post the fact that I sent them that card. And you know, they still exist. It's a good company. I totally believe in it. Okay, good. AM Cards, but again, going back to this again. Going back to this again. Going back to this again. Remember that there's a subscription cost and those cards can add up fast. So the last thing, you were asking me about commissions, offers and commissions when you go to submit that part in Command. So I don't even know what this file is. I think this is a fake one that I was using as a test. So I'm going to pretend that we're going to submit an offer commission for this deal. I'm making a request for a DA. I'm going to go fast through this part because you guys remember I only need the stuff in red. Just put it.
I'm talking about before you even get
Okay.
to that point.
So where? When you create the opportunity?
When you create.
All right, good point. All right, so let's go back here and let's just pretend to create an opportunity. Create opportunity. When you create one, you'll pick your office and you'll only show one on yours, and your opportunity type, let's say it's a listing, client name, opportunity name, you're talking about here. So it is always your side of the deal, not the total amount. your side of the deal is gonna be whatever you negotiated already, and if you haven't done the appointment yet, you're prepping for it, I just do 3%, because that's what I'm gonna ask for.
Oh, so,
I'm asking for 6%, but 3,
okay,
so
so
3 is what goes there.
that's only your part.
You're part of the transaction. The contract will be in there and we'll know, because you're gonna upload the MLS sheet that you're offering whatever percentage to the buy side. Every transaction has 2 sides, buyer and seller, unless you ended up double dipping it, or, getting both sides, yet there's still 2 sides. So like whenever you do your own deal where you brought the buyer to your own listing, you have 2 opportunities. Even back when it was .loop, you had 2 .loops because they're 2 different contracts. One's in the listing side that has the seller, one's the buy side. You don't put them in one file. 2 separate files.
To upload, what do I have to upload?
Well, when you create an opportunity and you're working a deal, there's documents you're uploading that it's requesting you guys. I would revisit, I don't know if you were here that particular day for that part of the class, but what I was saying is that when you upload your property this is a buyer one, so it won't show it to me. When you upload on the listing paperwork, one of the things you have to upload is your MLS sheet, and in there shows what we're gonna be paying the other brokerage. So, when you go to create the opportunity, it's your side of the commission is all that you need to worry about putting in here. Go ahead, is there?
I'm just lost on like the part where I have to upload, the MLS sheet.
Revisit, I don't, were you here that? I can't remember if you were that.
I was, but I can't like,
Revisit that, but let me see if I want to show you an example. Hold on, I think I do, and I'll go to you next. Let's look at her. Did I do it already first? So hers under listed, there's the listing agreement. I still have to, so here's an example. I haven't uploaded her MLS sheet yet, so I still need to upload it.
so I have to upload the listing agreement and the MLS.
Tax records, and then I always upload my brokerage transaction broker notice. Anything else I had the seller disclosure, so I uploaded that as well. I had the HOA disclosure, so I uploaded that as well. Everything I have available, I upload. Look, honestly, for me, it's a vanilla folder is the way I look at it. You're gonna keep all your customers' files in a vanilla folder. All right, well, I'm just gonna upload my vanilla folder up here. The way I look at it. Did that answer it then? Okay. Always, anytime in command, it's always your side only. And even if you did double sided, it's still your side only for that customer. Because in this scenario, if I was double dipping this deal, I would have an opportunity for the listing side and I would have an opportunity for the buyer side. Because going back to my numbers of a 50-50 balanced business, well, I just did 2 deals here. They both count now. Those are 2 deals for me. They don't count as 1 deal. So it's funny because if I sell a $500,000 house that I listed and I sell it for $500,000, I just sold $1 million because I'm getting paid as if it was almost like $1 million deal.
And what happens if your contact, your opportunity doesn't use DocuSign? Let's say they're.
Like whoever the person is,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. They don't have to. When you email, they don't have to be a user of the software to receive an email to sign something. They'll just receive it. Hey, you've been requested to sign a document. It says view document, pops up a separate window to hey, view the document, and they sign right in there. They don't have to actually have an account.
But what I'm saying is, what if they sign the physical contract, like an actual, and not? We would just have to.
You have to scan it in and put it in manually. Yeah, and I hate those because
Yeah.
it's annoying when they don't do it. Because then, like literally, I remember
No, but remember, we have.
there's a group that doesn't. Yeah,
That does not, right?
A lot of people
Yeah.
don't want to embrace technology.
yeah. There are some, and
I'm
Yeah.
setting an example, it's not my case.
yeah,
Because I've had.
How about if I hold their hand while they do it?
Well,
yeah. Honestly,
legally, we can't.
some of them are been. I'll hold their hand.
They have to do it on their own.
Yeah, she's sarcastic.
Yeah, for my friends, I will give them all the moral support they need to read.
I picked up on your sarcasm.
I'm not even-
Rose is like, I'm confused.
She was thinking, sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's-
All right, what other questions, team?
I was thinking what she was thinking, or maybe I'm not, but I was thinking when you look at the MLS, that will say what the number is.
Of commission offered,
But
yeah.
that's the 6, not the 3.
Oh, that's the 3. That's what you're being offered.
No, this is a.
No, on the MLS
On the
sheet, when you, if, let's say you make a
Hold on.
listing,
Uh-huh.
then you're in control of it. So when you talk about the commission rate, when you're gonna do your listing appointment with the customer and they sign a contract, you're agreeing on
6.
6.
Yeah, well, there's 2 spots to
There's
fill out.
3 in that.
Yeah, there's 2, well, no, there's 2 boxes to fill out. They pay the listing brokerage 6%. That's the first box in the contract. And then like 2 or 3 boxes down from there, lines from there, then it says, what are we giving the co-op agent, the cooperating agent? And that's where the 3% goes.
Okay.
So it's 6 and then 3, not 3 and 3, because if you did 3 at the top line, you just got paid 1.5 because they are already agreed to paying you only 3. So it's 6, the total commission up top, whatever it is, 5, 6, whatever you negotiated. And then what you're offering to the other side is the next line down. Like, not literally the next line down, it's like 3 or 4 lines down from there. So read the make sure to read the right box. Anything else? Good. You're quiet. Like, I don't know,
Like I kind of put a word in that twice here.
like, what did I get myself into? You can stop the recording. Thank you guys for all for tuning in online. You can stop the recording.
It was great.